Hello, hello, hello. Check. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Devyo, Sajjano, Mitro. We are actually done with our syllabus. We are only meeting for meeting, greeting, essay, time passes, and okay. So, are we done with calculation of total income? Yes. Are we done with calculation of tax liability? Yes. But the income and tax that you have calculated, the officer in the income tax department has got no bloody idea about it. You will have to communicate. How? WhatsApp. 9. Filing of ROI. Section 139(1) is going on, and we are done with one part of the section. And what if I tell you, we actually have to do the other part, the right side of this section now? Oh, we are done with the left part. Section 139(1) has given us answer to two questions. Question number 1, return filing is compulsory for whom? And question number 2, if at all return filing is compulsory for you, then what is going to be your due date? Hello. Return filing is compulsory for whom? And if it is compulsory, so what is going to be the due date? ये correct है. So first, are we done with the assessees for whom return filing is compulsory? Gone. Who are those assessees for whom return filing is compulsory? Every company, every firm, including LLP, individual HUF, OPP, or HAP, if GTI before 54 series exceeds basic exemption, ROR having asset outside India. In case of other people, if current account deposit exceeds 1 crore, foreign travel expense exceeds 2 lakh, electricity expense exceeds 1 lakh, business turnover exceeds 60 lakh, profession turnover exceeds, till here it was all greater. In last two, it is greater than and equal to. So saving account deposit greater than or equal to 50 lakh. And TDS plus TCS greater than or equal to 25. But for resident senior citizen, it is going to be 50,000. Once we know that return filing is compulsory, the next question is what is going to be my due date? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today is the first time when I am going to officially tell you. If you have always spoken John, that was always unofficially. Proper writing, official learning will happen today. Situation 1. If you are an assessee who is covered under international taxation, that is a chapter in CA final called transfer pricing. You have done international transactions. Then it is compulsory for you to go to a chartered accountant and get from him a form that is called Form 3CEB. It can also be called as the transfer pricing audit report. Whether you have correctly reported your foreign transactions or no, once again, ladies and gentlemen, only one person has the right, and that is a chartered accountant is going to certify those transactions. A chartered accountant is going to certify those transactions. Ye correct hai? So do you have to do extra work? There are people who have not done foreign transactions. They don't have to do this report. They don't have to go to a CA. You have extra work burden. So we will give you the highest time available. We will give you time up to 30th November for return filing. 30th November of. I am going to humiliate you now. Of previous year के assessment. Huh? Of assessment year, bro. In previous year, so we are going to earn income. Return filing is going to take place during the assessment year. So we are going to be, Mitro, what? Going to give you time till 30th November. So this is your previous year. Here your assessment year starts. July, October, November are the 3 due dates. People with international tax, people with transfer pricing will get the highest time, that is time up to November. The due date is going to be 30th of November. So after today, when you are asked, any person who has done international transactions, any person who is covered under transfer pricing, the due date of filing of return is going to be 30th of November. Is this clear? With a couple of points to be noted. Point number 1. Point number 1. Due date of a partner in a firm. Are firm and partner separate assessees? Due date of partner in a firm, and of course wherever we write firm we cover LLP also except the presumptive taxation. Due date of partner will always be same as firm. First the law, then the logic. Partnership firm covered under transfer pricing, then due date will be 30th November because any assessee under transfer pricing due date will be 30th November. Then its partner's due date will also be 30th November. That's the law. If due date of firm is November, then partner also November. If due date of firm is October, then partner also October. If due date of firm is July, then partner also July. Due date of partner will always be same as firm. This is the law. So logic is simple. Partnership firm is going to pay remuneration and interest to partners. The amount of deduction taken by the firm as per 40B will be the amount taxable for the partner under PGB. So unless and until firm ka computation is over, return filing is over, partner ka computation also cannot be over, and thus partner ka due date will be same as firm. So if firm has international tax, then firm due date and partner due date also. Is that clear? Second point. Due date of spouse of the partner. Spouse, you know, of the partner will also be same. Supposingly you are partner in a firm, your due date is same as firm. Your wife ka due date will also be same. If you people are covered under a law called PCC, that is Portuguese Civil Code. This is section 5A of the Income Tax Act. If you are covered under something called Portuguese Civil Code, then due date of spouse will also be same. What is your question? I have discussed this with you before. No? No. I have a reel under 1 minute in which I explained this entire concept and very viral. It became very popular. But I know you are not going to watch. So I will recreate it here itself. What is common between Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman and Goa? Cheap alcohol. Get over it, guys. While most of India was British ruled, these territories were under the control of Portuguese. And even today they follow something called the Portuguese Civil Code. The rules for marriage, the rules for children, the rules for divorce are not religion based. They are based on the rules laid down by Portuguese. Under the Portuguese Civil Code, this will help you understand the concept. Under the Portuguese Civil Code, any income earned by an individual will be equally shared with spouse. So say you earn rent of 100 rupees, you have to give 50 rupees to your wife. Husband or wife, as the case may be, spouse. You earn 10 lakh from business, 5 lakh you will have to give to your spouse. Any income of an individual will be shared with your spouse equally. Legally, spouse owns 50% of your income. And this is applicable to all your incomes except salary. Because salary, you are in employment, salary is fully yours. Other than salary, you have house property, you have business, you have capital gains, you have other sources. All your incomes are 50% belonging to your spouse. And therefore, when you go to Goa, generally, once you go to Goa, your mind is in a different framework. It is in a different horizon. These are not things that you think about. But as a tax teacher, I eat, sleep, drink, tax. Now, wherever I go to weddings, I search for tax examples. I go for picnics, I search for tax examples. In Goa, I have observed one thing. You also observe next time. Any shop you go to, we have to go to a lot of shops to buy a lot of things. Kids ka diapers and I have a child with me also. The shopkeeper is generally husband and wife couple running the shop together. Because in any case, even if one of them runs it, it is equally divided. Whatever you earn, 50% to your spouse. Now, if you think this is unfair, where whatever I earn, my hard-earned money, 50% I have to surrender to my wife. Let me tell you, those of us who don't follow Portuguese Civil Code, we have to surrender 100% of our income and we have to surrender ourselves at the feet of our wife. And Portuguese Civil Code at least is relaxing to the extent that you have to surrender only 50%. I surrender 100% of my income. I surrender 100% of myself at the feet of. Who was that student in your class the moment I said surrender your income at the feet of? And she said wife. Who was she? वो थी ना? Then I said, nahi mother. But Portuguese civil code mein it is right. So do you realize if the partners or their spouses are covered under Portuguese civil code, that means that income received from the firm will half go to the spouse and accordingly taxability will be decided. So that spouse ka due date will also be same as the partner. In other words, any assessee covered under transfer pricing, due date will be 30th November. If the assessee is a partnership firm, then due date of the partner will also always be 30th November. But spouse will not be always 30th November. Please be clear. Spouse will be covered in the same due date only if they are covered under Portuguese civil code. If they are not covered under Portuguese civil code, spouse is a separate assessee. Spouse ka due date you calculate separate. So due date of partner will be same as firm when due date of partner will be same as firm when always all the due dates November, October, July. But spouse will not be same always. Spouse will be same only if covered under basis. Is that clear? Second, supposingly, and you understand, no, I am writing it on the right side of the chart. Second, if you are not covered under transfer pricing, but you are covered under audit under any law, please pay attention. This is something that you have to be very careful. When they say audit, it need not be audit in this law. Please pay attention, everyone. In this law, income tax audit will apply only on selected cases when your turnover exceeds a certain threshold in business or profession. Otherwise, tax audit is not applicable. Tax audit is not applicable to every business, every profession. If it is applicable, you will come. But if it is not applicable, you won't come. Wait. Supposingly, you are a company. Whether tax audit is applicable or not applicable, statutory audit is applicable to every company. Tax audit is not the only audit. So you may not be covered under audit under income tax, but you are covered under audit under any other law also. Which means, see, if you understand the interpretation, the conclusion. If I am a limited company, whether tax audit is applicable or not applicable, stat audit will always be applicable. If I have done international transaction, I will go in November. If I have not done international transaction, still audit is applicable. I will come in the second due date, October. In other words, to companies, July can never be applicable. July can never be the due date of companies because whether they have international tax or no, audit they will always have. And audit which tax audit also they may not have because their turnover is not crossing the limit. Even if they don't have tax audit, they will always have stat audit. So companies will never go in July. They will come in November or October. If you have audit under any law, then your due date is going to be 31st October of the assessment year with the same 2 points. If the firm has audit, now see, firm cannot have statutory audit, but firm can certainly have tax audit if turnover crosses the limit. Is firm covered under tax audit? So what will be firm ka due date? 31st October. What will be partner ka due date? Same 31st October always. And will spouse also be same? If covered under Portuguese, same 2 points here. And finally, all other cases. That means you don't have transfer pricing, you don't have audit, then your due date will be 31st July of the assessment year. So effectively, if you understand, ladies and gentlemen, it is not John, it is not. You know why? Now I bring before you the most important data here, that these due dates have to be followed in order. Please pay attention, everyone. The first step that I will do is the first thing that I will check is applicability of transfer pricing. If transfer pricing is applicable, audit applicable or not applicable, to hell with it. It will be November. October will come only if transfer pricing is not applicable and audit is applicable. If both are applicable, you don't have to check only audit. Transfer pricing, story over. No transfer pricing, yes audit, then October. And no transfer pricing, no audit, then July. You may always have a question, no sir, what if transfer pricing and audit both are applicable? Then what's your answer? November. Take November. You don't have to consider October in that case. Are you understanding? So, if covered under transfer pricing, 30th November. If covered under audit and not covered under transfer pricing, then 31st October. Other cases, 31st July. Partner's due date will always be same as firm, and spouse of the partner's due date will be same as the partner and the firm, but only if they are covered under Portuguese Civil Code. This, ladies and gentlemen, is your section 139.1, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most important sections of CA final direct tax. See, at Inter, I told you we are 4 chapters away, and we are also 4 lectures away. Today's lecture included, we have total 3 more lectures now to complete our syllabus after today. The total weightage of these 4 chapters will be about 10 marks total, now all the 4 together. But 10 marks is something that we can't take a risk of. If you want to think about it that way, sir, acha, 40 marks direct tax, mein PJBP, capital gain, salary, house property, and tax rates, if I study properly, that way I am sufficiently ready for direct tax part of my paper. In any case, I have scope of total income, easy question, ROR, RNOR, I may have residential status question, I will manage some marks over there, and effectively I have got 50 marks direct tax to cover up. But if your base with respect to these topics is set at least as far as the concepts are concerned at intermediate, so you will at least understand them faster than other people when you come to CA final. Believe me, in CA final, when you will come back and sit in the class, there will be many more people. Because my career record is that the classroom size of my final batch is at least 4 or 5 times, sometimes it is 10 times of the students of the inter batch, because my students come only, along with them lot of other people also come by looking at their marks. A lot of students who have studied at other places in inter are a part of my batch in CFI. Thousands of students. The number of students I have taught at final is much more than the number of students I have taught at inter. There was a time in between for 3-4 years I did not take only inter lectures. I used to take only 2 batches in a year, one Hindi, one English, only for recording them, and focus on final ka lectures. There will be other people for whom these concepts will be alien. They will not even understand what is happening. But your base will be better than the others, and that's the reason you take them seriously. And 10 marks ka weightage is still there. I hope we are clear on this. Of course, in these chapters, what you should do, what you can ignore, that I will tell you. 139.1 you will have to. Everyone clear? People for whom return filing is compulsory, and what are the due dates. After this, we have 3 absolutely useless sections, subsections: 139.1a, 1b, 1c. Believe me, even in CA final, I tell students, ignore these sections like Modi ignores Kejriwal. They have not been asked in exam for the last 15-20 years. I am not saying that institute has made an announcement, we will never ask them. They are a part of the law, and therefore they are in the study material. But they have not asked. You can ignore them. There is always something called normal laws. Now that we are done with 1 extremely important, 139.1, and 3 absolutely useless, we now go to 3 very, very important subsections. We have a section 139 subsection 3, 139 subsection 4, 139 subsection 5. 139.3 is talking about something called loss return. Subsection 4 is something called belated return, and subsection 5 is something called revised return. Loss return, belated return, and revised return are the 3 subsections that we are left with. Everyone is with me? Left with matlab in this series. We have much more here, but you will have to link them because they are all related to return filing. So 139.1 was compulsory filing of ROI. Then related concepts are loss, belated, revised. These 4 subsections, that is 139.1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, together comprise of 20% questions in CA final assessment procedure. 20% questions of assessment procedure are based on these 4 subsections put together. I am going to be doing these subsections with you like I do with CA final students, ignoring that it is an inter-batch going on. Where you can ignore things, I will tell you. But where you cannot, you should not, we will not take any chance. So yes, 139.1, 3, 4, 5 together are very, very important. Now we focus on these 3 one by one. 139, 3, 4, 5, that is loss return, belated return, revised return. We'll be doing them one by one only. First, section 139.3, which is talking about loss ROI and in the very first point we will write the meaning. In subsection 3, 4, 5, all three of them, first point is going to be the meaning. 139.3 loss ROI. As the name indicates, see, this is self-explanatory, does not require explanation, that whenever you file a return in which you are declaring a loss for which you seek a carry forward, other than salary, all the losses have, all the heads have losses which can either be set off or carry forward. Other than IFOS ka losses, all losses can be carried forward. Casual losses I am not considering here. So whenever you are filing a return in which you want carry forward of loss, such a return will be called loss return. Please use your brain and understand. Just like the officer in the income tax department is not Nirmal Baba, Radhe Ma, Asaram Bapu, he does not have supernatural powers. He cannot guess your income. Obviously, he cannot also guess your losses. You will have to file your return, show your loss, and tell the officer, sir, during the year I have suffered this loss. I want to carry forward to adjust against future losses as per what was taught to us in set off and carry forward chapter. Which loss can be carried forward for how many years and adjust against which profit. So we will file a return and show our losses. That return will be called loss return. In simple language, a return in which we declare a loss will be called loss return. Just like there is return of income, there can be return of loss also. And this makes me immediately jump from section 139.3, because 139.3 has only given meaning, no rules. What is meaning? Return declaring loss, which you all have understood. The rules of loss return are actually given in section 80. Let me explain the placement of section 80 in income tax law. Set off carry forward of losses ka chapter gets over and deductions ka chapter starts. Deduction starts at 80C. Just before deductions, the last section of set off and carry forward of losses is section 80. And you are familiar with this law. You just don't know the section number. You know this law, that following losses, we will grant you carry forward only write as many onlys as you want if your ROI was filed on time within the due date under section 139.1. Set off chapter gave us carry forward of total 7 losses, out of which 5 losses will be carried forward only if your return is filed on time. Sir, what are those 5 losses? Section 72 gave us carry forward of business loss. This carry forward is available for a period of 8 years, but only if you file your return on time. Section 73 gave us carry forward of speculation business loss. This carry forward is available for a period of 4 years, but only if you file your return on time. 73A gave us carry forward of specified business loss. This carry forward is available for unlimited period, but only if you file your return on time. 74 gave us carry forward of capital loss, that is, it can be long term or short term for a period of 8 years, only if you file your return on time. 74A gave us carry forward of owning and maintaining resources, OMRH losses, for a period of 4 years, only if you file your return on time. 5 losses will be carried forward only if you file your return on time. So what is a loss return? A return in which you want carry forward of losses, but these losses you have to file within your 139.1 due date, that is November, October, July, March. Now you know which due date is applicable to whom? Transfer pricing, then November. If no transfer pricing and audit, then October, and other cases July. If you miss your due date, you will lose carry forward of these losses. 5 losses can be carried forward only if you file your return on time. The 5 losses are business loss, speculation loss, specified loss, capital loss, and OMRH loss. If you miss your due date, you will lose carry forward. Correct? Hai? Wait. There is one thing common between CA log and Baba log, and of course, ladies mein Babi. Don't be offended. That people will come to you and ask for solutions of their problems. They will come and say, please show me the way. Show me the way. Please show me the way. Marg, Rah, please show me the way. I have missed my due date. Will I lose carry forward of these losses? Yes, the moment I miss my due date, please do something. Please do something. There is one organization, one body, one place where you can request, where you can approach, you can go and tell them to kindly grant you relaxation. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT, under Section 119. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, in the entire syllabus of CA Final Direct Tax, if I am told to write the most important sections for exam and real life, Section 119 will probably fall in the top 5 or top 3 in terms of exam questions, in terms of practical application. See, exam questions at inter you may not have for 119 because inter ka syllabus does not contain all that. But your real life, after today, you will be more informed when you go and talk to people. No, people will start respecting you when they come and tell you, okay, I am stuck in this particular thing in taxation. What is the way out? There is a very popular Urdu proverb, जिसका कोई नहीं होता उसका खुदा होता है. Bro, in income tax it is CBDT. Whenever and wherever you are stuck, whenever you don't have any solution to your problem, supposingly you miss the due date, so you will lose carry forward. You go to your assessing officer. Make the officer understand. Sir, I was in the hospital, sir. Sir, my family members were unwell, sir. Sir, I almost died in an accident. Sir, how would I take care of the due date when I was in the ICU? Sir, please accept my return. Sir, please give me carry forward of losses. The officer has got no right to eliminate losses. If there is one place where you can go and do this drama, that is CBDT. Of course, see, CBDT is not lying on the road. Okay, yeah, every year I file my return on time. There is no spice in life. This year I will file late and go to CBDT. Let's try CBDT this year. CBDT is not a new restaurant in your area that you will go and try. There has to be genuine case. The cases which I gave you as an example, you were in the hospital, in the ICU, there was software problem, internet issues in your city, electricity issues in your city. The server was down. Such situations which were circumstances beyond your control, you have to go and explain to the CBDT. And what if I tell you, off late, so we don't have to go anywhere. This application is also made already. Any such genuine situation you have, any circumstance beyond your control, you log into your e-filing account, type your problem, submit the button, CBDT will respond after having look at they will have a look at your application. We call it a condonation request. Please forgive my delay. They will check it and they will respond in case of genuine circumstances. Yes, they do grant relaxation. That means you filed your return late, but you will get carry forward of losses. And not just here, wherever in income tax, if you don't have anyone in your life I can't do anything. That is your problem. If you don't have anything in income tax, if you don't have anyone in income tax, that one organization that will come to your rescue will be CBDT. And also let me tell you one more thing. I always tell you, who is the father of income tax department? Father, daddy, abbu, achan, abba, papa, appa, kya? CBDT. Why? Supposingly CBDT feels my case is genuine and grants me relaxation. That means can I claim carry forward? Even if my return was late? My officer refused. My officer said, no, CBDT has said still I will not give you carry forward. All you have to tell the officer is, tere baap. Sorry. Your father told me to grant, carry forward of losses because circumstances were beyond my control. If the CBDT says something, officers have to follow. From the senior most chief commissioner to the junior most inspector, all officers are bound to follow, supposed to follow, compulsorily follow, because once father says something, children have to follow. Do not say that, sir, no, in our case it is the other way around. Income tax law was written in 1961. At that time it was like that only. I don't remember ever looking into my father's eyes and talking to him. Never. Even if I am the topper in my class, I used to talk to him like this. My father was never very, very strict about academic records. It was my mother who was always strict about doing good in studies. My father said that you want to study, you study, you don't want to study, you don't study, because I also never listened to my father. You don't get any marks in the subjects where you go and mug up. I have got no problem, because even if you have marks, you just mug and go. You are not doing any value addition in life. But you should always score good marks in a subject called maths. We are Marwadis. Maths may you need to get full marks. All other subjects you fail. I have got no problem. He had only one condition: score good marks in maths. I used to score the highest in maths in my class. Highest in the sense that 100 mark ka paper, so I have 100 marks. Of course, when school mein we used to get our answer papers, we had to take our parents' signature. Any subject where I have poor marks, and this we have all done. Poor marks matlab take mother's signature, and good marks means take father's signature. This we have all done. My maths paper I used to take to my father. And just because I have got full marks means I have not made any mistake. But still, I never looked into his eyes. I said full marks. And by the way, I am not even in the 60s. You think I was born in the 60s ka decade? You are on high. You are high on drugs, no? So you can think anything. I am late 80s, bro. Almost 90s. Almost 90s. The 80s were so late. I never looked into my father's eyes while talking to him. The year 1961 ka generation, 2025 ka bill. Well, let us wait for it to become the act. I will find out some other example. Right now, I am very, very safe. Well, 1961 ka law, so you can't go against your father. So, but in 2025, everyone goes against father. It has been other way around. You can't go against your wife, but you can go against your father. So I will find out some new example to take for your CA final if the 2025 ka bill is passed. As of now, the 61 ka law is applicable, and once CBDT has granted relaxation, any officer from top to bottom does not have any authority to go against CBDT instruction. If you really had circumstances beyond your control, don't convince your officer. Officer has no power. Go convince the CBDT. CBDT will grant you relaxation and admit your return which was filed belated. Is that understood? Everyone? Fantastic. Let's go ahead. Next. 5 losses will be carried forward only and only and only if your return is filed on time. Only and only if your return is filed on time. However, did you observe that therefore, by the way, before I go to that, for the above losses, is it okay if I file my return late? No. No. But do you observe that they have covered over here only 5 losses? So at the same time, can we say that section 80 is not applicable to following losses? Following losses are not written. There were total 7 losses that were carried forward. Only 5 have written timely filing criteria. That means the 2 losses where we can file our return late. 71B, house property loss can be carried forward for a period of 8 years, and section 32 subsection 2, unabsorbed depreciation, we will get carry forward for unlimited period. Do you observe carefully that these two, and in fact in set of chapter itself we wrote what? Even if return is not filed on time. Correct? That means I want to ask you 2 questions or 1 question. First simple question. For these losses, is it okay if I file my return late? Means I don't file them on time for these 2 losses. Is it okay to miss the 139(1) due date? Because in order to get carry forward of these 5 losses, I have to comply with 139(1) due date. But these 2 losses, is it okay to file return late? Then what do you mean by section 80 not applicable? So check कर set of का chapter, go revise, then you'll come to know what I am talking about. I repeat my question. For these 5 losses, is it compulsory to file return on time? Yes. And when we say section 80 not applicable, we have not written these 2 losses in that list. That means, are these 2 losses covered in compulsory file on time? Then what do you mean by section 80 not applicable? What is section 80? File on time, which is applicable to 5 losses and not applicable to 2 losses. That means for these 2 losses, is it okay to miss the due date? Then otherwise, what have you understood? For these 2 losses, it is okay to miss the due date. Yes, it is okay to file my return late. But listen to this. It is okay to be late. Late filing is okay, but not filing is not okay. Please understand. Because if I don't file only, they won't come to know. Is it okay to file late? Late is okay. Is it okay to miss 139 due date? No problem, because that is applicable only to these 5 losses. For these 2 losses, is it okay to miss the due date? But I have to still file. Do you understand? These 2 losses, let me summarize. But at least file. Not filing is not okay. Which is also why I wrote the 3 subsections first. What is the next subsection? Everyone focus. You'll understand now. Belated. Belated means, can I say they will give some extended due date after the applicable 139 due date? Listen to this carefully. For these 5 losses, I have to file my return within the time of 139(1). That is the 3 due dates given. But for these 2 losses, basically, I have to file my return up to the time given under 139(4). Because after that, I will not be able to file my return. Everyone is with me? After that, I can't file. Normal time limit, then extended time limit for belated. After belated, there is no time limit to file return. Everyone is understanding? Is it okay to miss the normal time limit? Then you can file within the belated time. But if you miss belated time, that is not okay. Then you will not be able to file, and without filing, you won't get any carry forward of losses. Without filing, you won't get any carry forward of losses. Is that clearly understood? Everyone? So ladies and gentlemen, 5 losses will be carried forward only and only if you file your return on time. Those 5 losses are business loss, speculation loss, specified loss, capital loss, OMRH loss. But 2 losses, it is not applicable. Those 2 losses are house property and UAD. For these 2 losses, is it okay to file return late? Late filing is okay, but not filing is not okay. Don't file within 139(1). That is okay, but still file within the belated time limit given under 139(4). Because if you miss that and you don't file return only, then you won't get any carry forward even of these 2 losses. Now, no confusion. No? Fantastic. Last 2 points here. Section 80. Can I say Section 80 is that section which makes timely filing compulsory? Correct? Section 80 is going to be applicable only on your current year loss, not on your brought forward loss. You got to understand this. Everyone pay attention. Pay attention. First, let us have an understanding of the explanation. Supposingly, I file my return late. Will I lose carry forward of losses? I am talking about those 5 losses because Section 80 covers only those 5 losses. Business, speculation, specified, capital, OMRH. I won't get carry forward. But if I file on time, will I get carry forward? Okay. Business loss, how many years? So till 8 years, if I don't get profit, I can carry forward. Year 1, 2, 3, I am carrying forward. Till the time I don't get business profit, I have got no choice. I have to carry forward. In the 5th year of carry forward, I filed my return late. So that 5th year ka losses I won't get carry forward because I am late. Unless I go to CBDT, and CBDT you can't go on a day-to-day basis. There has to be genuine circumstances. So 5th year ka loss no carry forward. But the losses of year 0 which have reached year 5, will they continue for year 6, 7, 8? Or will they stop? Is the question. Do you understand? Supposingly I file return late in any year. In that year, I will have 2 types of losses. 1, losses of the current year. 2, losses which are brought forward and have to continue for their balance period. Now read the statement and you will understand that if you ever file your return late, so that year ka loss you will not get carry forward, but the brought forward will continue and complete their period. Or let me put it this way. See if you understand this. Once you file return on time in the year of loss, once you file return on time in the year of loss, your losses enter carry forward. Now they will keep on getting carried forward for the available period. Whether during that period you file on time or late is irrelevant. Of course, that year's return, that year's loss you may not get it if the return is late, but the brought forward losses will continue. Now read the statement again and see if it makes sense. Section 80 is applicable only on your current year loss. That year's loss you will not get, but the brought forward losses will continue. Now the confusion is over, everyone. And this last point is basically going to help you when you will file income tax returns once you start articleship. This is practical knowledge. Okay. Whenever we file our income tax return, everyone focus please. In that return, they ask us to choose this return is being filed under which section. If I am filing on time, I will choose which section 139(1). If I am filing late, I will choose 139(4). If I have filed earlier and I want to change that return, I will choose 139(5). If I have received a notice and I am filing in response to notice, there is a separate section. So you have to choose the section under which you are filing your return. This return is being filed under which section is a choice that you have to make while filing return. Everyone is with me? In that you won't get 139(3) as option, because 139(3) is not a subsection for filing return. 139(3) has only given us meaning. If you observe also carefully, discussion I have done on section 80, 139(3) was only the first line. So basically you check whether the loss return that you are filing, 139(3) gave only the meaning, whether you are filing on time or late. If you are filing on time, so this return will be considered as a 139(1) return, and if you are filing late, so this return will be considered as a 139(4) return. Are you understanding? If you are filing on time, it will be considered as 139(1) return, and if you are filing late, it will be considered as 139. So you don't have to choose 139(3) while filing return. You will declare loss, it will be treated as 139. But choice is only on time only. 139(3) is not a section of filing, it is only section of meaning. Filing sections are 1 and 4. This will help you in office, not in class exam. Is that clear? That, ladies and gentlemen, is your 139(3), that is loss return. That is your loss return. Correct? Huh? Fantastic. Section 139(4), the concept of belated ROI. And in the first point, we will be doing the meaning. In loss return also, first point, go check, we did the meaning only. First we did the meaning, then we studied the points. So here also we will first do the meaning. Meaning of what is a belated ROI. The word belated, first time in your life you came across in the context of belated word came in your life first time with reference to what? Not for returns for sure, for birthday. Correct? Hai? What do you mean by belated happy birthday? After the due date? Huh? After the birthday. Now bring that concept. Belated happy birthday is after the due date. Could be nonsense. Now bring the concept under returns and try and understand. Guess it will be right. What is a belated return? A return that is filed after the due date under section 139(1) will be considered as belated return. Return filed after due date. My first question to you is, if you miss someone's birthday, can you still wish them afterwards? Belated. So likewise, if you miss your due date, can you still file return? You know, you will always have a question. Supposingly, sir, I miss my July, then I can't file return. No, I can file return. But that return won't be filed under 139(1), that return will be filed under 139(4). Even after I miss my John, I still have some time for filing return. That return will be considered as a belated return. Meaning of belated return, like first point was meaning, loss return, return declaring loss. Then meaning of belated is return filed after due date. But then listen, obviously there has to be time limit for that also. Bro, being late, being late also has to be within a reasonable time. When you are late means you cannot be. She's the hiding face. There is a limit to being late also, you understand? What is that limit? 2-5 minutes. So you are referring to that in the context of my classroom. Bro, in my classroom, you have to be 5 minutes before time. On time is also late. The standards are so high that compared with anything, it will be adverse variance. Matlab, their variance will be. It will be unfavorable to us. Standards are high. समझा? हाँ. तो श्रुति का आज बर्थडे. बाद में. Shruti, happy birthday. I wished you already, but I want to have some conversation. Aisa, I will be asking some private questions publicly. I will be asking some private questions publicly. If you feel they are offensive, you have the option of saying, no, I don't want to answer. You have the option of saying that. Okay. But let me ask the questions first. Okay. So, Shruti, it's your birthday today? Okay. तू श्रुति है, ये सब शौक है तेरे? हाँ? कभी गया था ऑपरेशन कराने को? You crazy or what? You are Shruti? What is the cost of your operation? Which doctor did it? In which hospital you had gone to? Shruti, so how old are you today? Very, private personal question. People always say, don't ask what MBA their salary, CA their attempt, and woman their age. But I'm asking. I'm shameless. बोल. 20 बहुत छोटे हो यार. हाँ, 21. So what? 2004 born. Oh, मतलब you were born when I cleared my 10th standard. तो श्रुति, 2004 में 24th February 2004 is your date of birth. That means if I am not wrong, 24th February 2005 was your first birthday. First, you have any memories of your first birthday? No, I have some photos. Other than that, I also. My mother tells me that we took you to be invited everyone. We took you to Girgaon Chopati because those days that was the only picnic spot, and we got some balloons for you. And while playing, one of the balloon it just burst right near your ears, and you were so scared and crying. You did not play with balloons thereafter. I said that's my only memory, which I also don't remember. My mother told me. So Shruti, a very happy birthday to you. Wait, this I am not wishing for today. This I am wishing for 2005. Because I came to know you first time right now. I didn't know you for the last 21 years. So I have not wished you for the last 21 years. I am wishing you for 2005. See, I will take 21 parties. No? So I will wish you 21 times. This is 2005, Bala. But then she is like, "Ye pagal, today is my birthday." No, today ka wishes I will give you some other day. है ना? So I will gradually wish you. This is for your all the words that are going on in your mind right now, which you can't speak openly, are basically the words that you will speak to any person who is doing conversation like this. Obviously, even if you miss someone's birthday, you wish belated, you wish on the next day. Maybe you wish 2 or 3 days later. But you can't be wishing 20 years later. So is it okay to miss your due date while filing return? Yes. Will we still give you facility to wish or file? Yes. But there is a limit. What is going to be that time limit to file your belated ROI? Do you understand? Time limit to file belated. 3 months before end of your assessment year. 3 months before end of your assessment year. Please pay attention. Is this your previous year? Your exam year 24-25, bro. After that, you have your assessment year. Any one of these three due dates will be applicable to you based on international tax audit or none of them? Supposingly you missed this date, that means can I say you have missed 139.1, but can you still file your return? Yes. Is this the end of your assessment year? 31st March. Correct? This is your AY 25-26. Correct? What is that date? 3 months before this, ladies and gentlemen. If you want, you can learn this. Any student whose CA inter exam is May 25, September 25 or January 26. Any student whose CA final exam is May 25 or November 25. This is the date that you can learn because your assessment year applicable is fixed. 3 months before end of your assessment year. Simply put, you miss July, file up to December, or October or November you miss, you file up to December. December is going to be the last date. So even if you miss this date, you can file, but last to last latest by 31st of December. 3 months before the end of the assessment year, but the time limit continues. Or there can be something called completion of assessment. And I, in the introduction of chapter, told you that when is assessment considered as complete? That day when the assessment order is passed. That day when the assessment order is passed. Out of these two, whichever is earlier. See, you have to learn December. Believe me, at intermediate only that much is relevant. But that is not the real time limit. If by chance before this December, your assessing officer passes your order, then you can't revise your, or you can't file belated return or revise return. Revise, I'll talk later. You can't file belated return. 3 months before end of the assessment year or completion of assessment, whichever is earlier. Now, can I say this date is always going to be a fixed date because assessment year dates are fixed? But this may not be a fixed date because it will depend on when the assessing officer is passing your order. Ultimately, we have to choose out of the two, whichever is earlier. 3 months before end of the assessment year or completion of assessment, whichever is earlier. If assessment order is passed first, then you can't file, or if December comes first, then you can't. So if I miss my due date, can I still file my return? That return will be called a time limit to file belated return is going to be 3 months. You have to learn it like this: 3 months before end of assessment year or completion of assessment, whichever is. Now, such may, if you are a really good student, no, at this stage you should ask me a question. If you are really understanding the law with practical intention, that sir, if I have not filed my return, how can he pass order? He does not have data. How can order be earlier? Don't you think you should ask that question? See, December won't wait for anybody. Calendar, once it will come, time does not wait for anyone. So you must have seen Mahabharat on TV. मैं समय हूँ. So समय does not wait for anyone. Bro, but समय has disappeared. Police are looking for him. So December will come when it has to. Hello. But order cannot be passed unless you file return. Now, how can that be earlier? That's a question. For this, I would like to introduce you. I am not teaching you because it's not a part of your syllabus, but it's an important concept in CA final. In income tax law, there is a section. Section 144. Section 140. In income tax law, there is a section called Section 144. Baja. 144. Baja. What will the assessing officer do with you? Baja. What will he do? Baja. Bang you. Hit you. Sir. Best judgment assessment. Best judgment assessment. What is this concept? Please understand. All this assessing officer related part is not a part of our syllabus. That is assessment procedure. This is only return filing. But if you know that concept, then you will understand why order can come early. What is this concept called Baja? Is pe bhi real. And I have started a series making complicated concepts easy, like I did for Portuguese civil code. I have also done for this. What exactly happening? What is exactly happening here? तू बात करे या ना मुझसे, चाहे नोटिस का रिप्लाई ना दे, पर ये मत कहना अरे ओ पगले ऑर्डर ना पास कर, मेरा टैक्स ना ले। नहीं, सलमान खान। बजरंगी नहीं, सुल्तान। सुल्तान, हाँ। सलमान खान। ऑल यू नो इज ड्राइवर। सुल्तान मूवी, नो आइडिया। नो प्रॉब्लम। If you don't talk to the assessing officer, how you are not filing your return? He is sending you a notice, but you are not replying to the notice. So your assessing officer is not going to say, cut it. You are not talking to me, I will also not talk to you. Cut it. Assessing officer is not a housewife. That he did not come to our house for a function, so we should also not go to their function. They don't talk to us when we go to their house, so we will also not talk to them when they come to our house. You don't talk to me, so I will also not talk to you. No, bro. If you don't talk to him, he will be behind your life. He is a stalker. Stalker. He will be behind your life. End of the day, his job is to compute your total income, to compute your tax liability by passing an order. If you file return, so he will consider the data submitted by you, ask if he has any queries. If he does not have queries, so no problem. But if you don't file return, he still has to do his job. He has to still compute your total income and decide your tax liability by passing an order. If you don't cooperate, he will use his knowledge. He will use his experience. In the past, he has done your case, no? So he will use his experience, knowledge. He will use his best judgment. And on the basis of judgment, on the basis of estimate, he will pass an order for those of you who have not filed your return. Very rarely you will get to see them doing this. But if they do this, then it is whichever is early. Otherwise, December is too early, bro. After December, you can't file return. Everyone is clear? This was only the doubt that I created, which you never asked me also. But fair enough. Are we now clear? So can order also be earlier? Which is the only order that can be earlier? Assessment. Best judgment assessment. Order on the basis of judgment, knowledge, experience. ये clear है? हाँ तो ladies and gentlemen, what? Supposingly I miss my due date. Can I still file return? That return will be called a belated return. What is the time limit to file belated return? 3 months before end of the assessment year or completion of assessment, whichever is earlier. You have to learn December, but order can come at any point of time, whichever is earlier. Is that clear? Supposingly I missed this date also. Assessee hai bro. He missed July, October, November, whatever applicable. Or can I say he missed John? Then he still has December. He missed December also. Now there is no scope of filing return. Now you can't file return. That means, can I say I have missed my belated time limit? The December also gone. Whichever is earlier, that date has gone. I can't file belated. Now after that date goes, my extremely rich father-in-law comes and calls me. He calls me that, I have heard you are very stressed these days. I said, yes, it's been so long. I have not, had a picnic or trip or, financial crisis is going on, and he's like, okay, where do you want to go? I said, I want to go to a lot of places, but how does it matter? He's like, no, I will pay for it. You choose the location, you choose the best hotels over there, you choose if you want to fly business class, you choose everything. The only choice that you don't have is my daughter will come with you. Otherwise, if I give you that option, you may not choose that. So that's the only option which I am not giving you. All other things you choose, it will be a fully paid trip. So very exciting. I said USA, Europe, most expensive places. He said, fantastic, I'll book everything. But now I have to go for visa. And for visa, I need to submit 3 years income tax returns. But I have not filed. Below basic exemption limit, no need to file return. Everyone is aware. Individual has to file only if income exceeds basic exemption. No, bro, I am below basic exemption. Foreign asset, bro, Indian asset also I don't have. Business turnover exceeding 60 lakhs, lol. 10 lakh profession, lol. I have not filed return. So I won't be, you look at the situation of my life. Somebody is sponsoring my America ka trip fully and still I can't go because I don't have income tax records for visa. So I go to my officer, sir, my December is gone, sir, but please take, no, sir, please take, please, sir, please. The officer cannot accept my return. If there is one person, one body, one organization that can accept my return. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, after this, there is only one facility, CBDT under section 119 can relax. So if you miss 139.1, you still have time till 139.4. But if you miss 139.4 also, then you go to CBDT. Again, there has to be genuine situation. Huh? CBDT is not lying on the road, sir. I was free, so I went to CBDT. Sir, wanted some spice in life. Then buy chili flakes. You want spice in life, you can't go to CBDT. CBDT you can go only if there are circumstances beyond your control. Correct? Now you are clearly understanding that if I want carry forward of 5 losses, business, speculation, specified capital, OMR, so I have to file within John. But if I want carry forward of house property or unabsorbed depreciation, I can file till December. After December, I can't file unless I go to CBDT. Correct? So yes, is 139.4 at least giving me facility of filing even after missing due date? 139.4 will come only when I miss 139.1. Is 139.4 a facility? Everyone agrees? Yes. But then this facility will come with some consequences, some punishment. And you need to have the common sense to understand that if we do not penalize people under 139.4, then no one will respect 139.1. So there has to be some punishment, some consequence of missing job. After missing job, facility we are giving you. But this facility will come with the following punishments, consequences. That means anybody who misses due date, what is your option? 139.4, belated. But following punishment. Punishment 1, you are already aware. 5 losses, you won't get carry forward. What are the 5 losses which you will not get carry forward? Business loss, speculation loss, specified loss, capital loss, OMR. And the 2 losses to which it does not apply. So I am not writing here. House property UAD. It is okay to file late. It is okay to file 139.4. But you have to file 139.4. You can't miss this because after this you can't file. CBDT is not available on a day-to-day basis. Correct? Second, you will have to pay interest under section 234A for late filing of return. Very next chapter that I will pick up is advanced tax interest. Bro, after return filing, we have advanced tax interest and we have 2 chapters, TDS, TCS. Syllabus is over. So, how much will be that interest? What will be the calculation? One thing is clear, there will be interest for late filing of return. Next, you will have fees for late filing of return. Fees. You can call it penalty. See, interest will be calculated on tax liability. But over and above that, interest is always, principal into rate into time. The higher the delay, the more the interest. But whatever that interest be, high or low, there will be a separate amount which will be levied as a lump sum amount. Interest will be percentage. This will be lump sum, like a penalty. What do they call it? Late filing fees under section 234F. Late filing fees under section 234F. If your net taxable total income, NTTI, is up to rupees 5 lakh, so you have to pay fees of rupees 1000. Penalty you can say, which is over and above the interest. And if your income has exceeded 5 lakh, so you will have to pay fees of 5000. Everyone clear? Income up to 5 lakh, exact 5 lakh, more than 5 lakh, 5000. And how they will live it? Supposingly in your return there is some tax liability coming. They will add 1000 rupees or 5000 in that and collect total from you. Supposingly your income, your return is having refund. Can returns have refund? When my prepaid taxes like my TDS, advanced tax, TCS are more than my basic plus surcharge plus cess. Liability calculation will be compared with prepaid taxes and final answer will be payable or refundable. You understand the difference between liability and payable? Payable can sometimes be refundable. In that refund, they will minus this. So increase your liability or reduce your refund. Fees will be automatically levied by the software if you have filed your return late. Why are we putting all this? So that you do not disrespect 139.1. 139.1, if you miss, are we still giving you facility? But facility will come with punishment. And last punishment. If you have any specific income related chapter 6, or you have, that deduction of 10 AA. What is 10 AA? As he said, all these deductions will not be allowed to people who file their return. Over the last few years, our government has become increasingly strict about returns to be filed on time. Listen to this carefully. There are certain things which are in your syllabus, now I am writing it. But there are certain things which are not in your syllabus. I will speak, then you will understand. Charitable trust gets tax exemption. Will not get if you file return late. Recently, they brought one more change over there, but we'll discuss it in time. Political parties get tax exemption, but won't get it if you file your return late. Educational medical institutions get tax exemption, but will not get if you file your return late. Special economic zone is a tax benefit, won't be allowed if return is filed late. Income related chapter 6A, tax benefit, you will not get it if you file your return. But focus again here also, just like alternate minimum tax, they are mentioning this. Means if I file my return late, will I get ATC? Will I get ATD? Will I get ATG? Will you get ATU? Both? Yes, but you won't get QQB. You won't get double J double A. TTA TTB also you will get. QQB, double J double A and 10 double A will not be allowed if you file your return late. Now, do you understand the consequences of not filing your return on time? Everyone, if you file your return late, you have the option, but you will face these consequences. Everyone is clear? But sir, whenever you get stuck in life, whenever you don't have any friend in life, I can't do anything about your life. That's your problem. If you have any issues like depression or anything, I will be available for you. You want to share any problem with me? I will be listening to your problem. You want any solution? I will give you the solution. You want a shoulder to cry? I will lend my shoulder. There is a rate card for all of this. Sir, I am very sad, upset, sir. I am feeling very down, sir. Can you make me laugh, sir? Of course I can. Charges are on the higher side. And if you keep your head on my shoulder and cry, so basically I have to, वो सब tears से the shirt will be wet. So I have to immediately give the shirt for laundry. Rate is on the higher side. Very difficult to make someone crying, first pacify them, then make them smile or laugh. So the rate increases the moment the effort increases. Until a couple of years ago, I used to feel that teachers are best friends of students. Any problem that you cannot share with your friends also and family also. Teachers are those people with whom you can share those problems. We should always have that one friend whom we can speak. I have that one friend who knows those secrets about me which my mother or my wife also does not. With whom I share all supposedly my feeling that I have for someone. Let us assume neighbor's wife. Assume it may not be neighbor's wife. I can't tell that to my wife. I can't tell that to my mother also. But there is a friend who knows all of this. And of course, he also has his secrets. In our entire group, people know him by one name. But there is this one name which only I have given. Likewise, I too have a name which only he calls me. Don't ask, sir, can you tell us what is that name of yours? I'm not going to tell you that, of course. We have that friend. And I used to feel that a teacher is beyond this also. That you may possibly, because there are certain things about which that friend cannot do anything. Considering the immaturity level, age-wise, sometimes there may be some financial cost involved which your friend may not be able to bear, and you can't share certain things with your parents. So you may possibly share it with your teacher. I always wanted to be that friend. I was excessively friendly. But believe me, I have changed my attitude in the last 1.5 to 2 years. Because shock of my life, there was a student. Now everyone is not like that. There are some who are blatant. Directly they say on the face also. Some. Sir, we don't want to be any friend with you. We have finished the batch. We are going to our house. We are very happy. Inter student. ऐसे last lecture में, I will not say he or she, otherwise then again you start doing random guesses. That student said, "Avjo sir," Gujarati. In Gujaratis, when they, say, "Sir, bye, let's meet some other day," there is this term called "avjo." So I say in a friendly manner, I said, "Avjo means you are taking me somewhere," or "What do you mean by avjo? Avjo where? Batch is over. So where should I come?" Bola, no, sir, avjo means we are saying bye, batch is over. Then nothing called friend. Who you who? So the thousands like you have come and gone. Maybe it was my mistake that I was excessively friendly. You think I have a crush on you, you think I love you, you think aisa hai kuch. I love that way. I love all my students. You are one of them. So you are happy, so I am happier. And I cannot tolerate that disrespect. I don't want any friend. My friends are so good. And believe me, I have a friend who is 15 years elder than me. I have a friend who is 5 years elder than me. And I do have a friend who is 20 years younger than me. And in fact, all of us go together. So the eldest amongst us has children of the age of the youngest amongst us. In fact, the eldest children are elder than our youngest friend. My range of friend, that is the reason I am in touch with, or people who are 80 years also can relate to me with their conversation, and people who are 15 years old also can relate to me with their conversations, because I stay amongst people of all age groups, especially social organizations, where we are working and coming together for charity, religious work. That is the best place to have that kind of networking, to understand mindsets of people, because I am a member of an organization in the last 18 years. I was the youngest at that time. So the seniors are now 55, 60 almost. And then the new members now are 15, 20, 25, that range. And we have all kinds of fun together. Veg fun, non-veg fun. No, food mein nahi. Fun mein. We get a bit excessively non-veg at times. But there is a 15-year-old and there is a 60-year-old and cracking non-veg jokes. They are able to relate to each other's conversation. This 15-year-old is talking about some new meme going on. I understand that. And that 60-year-old is talking about something that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, Arshad Mehta ke time pe riots happened, this happened. I am able to relate to that conversation. So you should always have one friend 15 years elder, 15 years younger, which is why I actually, was trying to be a little more friendly with CA intermediate students. Final students are not human beings, they are dead bodies. They come in the class like a dead body. By the time it is 10 o'clock, bro, you to kasam se, when your CA final batch will happen 7 to 10. So will you come by 9:30? Just confirm it. Because final ka lecture has to be 7 to 10. After 10 o'clock, people have to go to articles. We can't take the lecture till 10:15 in CA final. And when we say 7 to 10, you can ask any of the staff here. This gentleman is a little new here. Ask the older staff, ask Nilesh bhai. He knows, he and me, both of us are here at 6:30 for our 7 o'clock lecture. You can, in my absence, you can ever confirm with him. So people are half dead. They are half asleep. By the time it is 10 o'clock and I awaken them from their deep sleep, it is time for them to go to office. Then they are, like a soap, they are rubbed in the office all throughout the day. And again, by night, when they reach home, they are dead bodies. So that friendly culture and those friendly conversations, it is very difficult to have with CA final students. So I chose inter student. Plus, I wanted a bigger age gap to understand the mindset of today's generation so that I can modify my examples accordingly. It is a part of my homework. But when a student tells me, sir, we don't want to be friends with you, so jana bhai, who needs you? Who you, who? Simple. So I will be very clear. You may not be having any friend. Abhi uska to I can't. हाँ, ये बात भी है. It is very clear that you tell me, sir, I think we should be friends and we should be, together going out somewhere. I won't say no also. But I have decided that I am not going to make any advance or any approach or any proposal to anybody. I am so 100% sure about that. I am very friendly only and only if you approach. Otherwise, batch over, you are happy, I am happier. As simple as that. So your personal life ka I can't do anything unless you approach. But in income tax, if you don't have any friend, for all your problems, you do have one friend. And that friend, in all these cases, that one common friend, which is going to come to your rescue. In all these cases, ladies and gentlemen, CBDT can, yes, relax, and everything is given under that one section. You don't understand how powerful section 119 is in practical life. There was this L'Oreal ad which said 5 problems, 1 solution. And to hell with it, all problems, only 1 solution. CBDT. CBDT. As funny as it may sound, but that is the truth, believe me. Have you seen the L'Oreal ad? 5 problems, 1 solution, Aishwarya Rai. Bolo, Aishwarya Rai also has to do advertisement for beauty products. Even if she does not need it, and even at this age. All problems, 1 solution. Whenever you have any trouble in life, I can't do anything about that life, but whenever you have any trouble in income tax life, you have one organization body that will come to your rescue, provided circumstances are genuine, reasonable, beyond your control. Is that clear, bro? Bro, everyone? 100%? Fantastic. And in this series, the last section, not the last section of the chapter, but in this series, if you remember 139, 1, 3, 4, 5, I told you are the most important section. Section 139, 5, the concept of revised return. 139, 5 is talking about something called revised return. See, the word revise has got 2 meanings in English language. One is something that you should be doing after every class, but you don't. Revise. Wait. One is something that you should be doing after every class, but you don't. Do know? But there is one more meaning of this term called revise. This revise means to bring about a change. For example, I say, no, all my books are revised every year. Every year, revision was happening only. Now the full book will be revised. Very soon. Very soon means next year. Because this year to this year ka budget will apply for May 26 exams. What we are studying is applicable till January 26. This budget will apply for May 26. And that will go on for 1 year. So we don't know when the new bill will come, etc. We will see everything when the new act is passed. Right now, so we are learning the existing law. So on the basis of the existing law, also I have to bring amendment. For example, new regime ka rates. Now next year the slabs are becoming 4 lakh ka slabs. So I will be changing. That revises this concept. This time we are not revising books, but we are revising our return. So in the first point, like we did in the previous 2 cases, we will write the meaning. A return of income which is filed to rectify. What is the purpose? To rectify any error of an already filed RO. Will be considered as revised return. A return of income which is filed to rectify any error of an already filed ROI will be called revised return. See, returns are filed by human beings. Can human beings Can human beings make mistake? Yes. After making mistake, you realize that you have made mistake. So you want to correct it. So what should you do? File a. See, that mistake there is no rectification. But this mistake we can rectify by filing another return. That new return which we are filing to rectify mistake in the previous return will be called revised return. Which means one thing is for sure, that therefore 139.5 can be possible only and only if you have the brain to understand this. I have filed something in which there was a mistake. If I have not filed only, where is the question of mistake? Mistake will happen only if return was filed. So 139.5 will happen only and only if return was filed. Correct? Hai? The original return which was filed, can I say this is the return which contains mistake? That original return can be filed under section 139.1. What is 139.1? Return filed on time. Can that contain mistake? I will rectify by filing 139.5 or 134. What is 139.4? Return filed beyond the time limit. That is belated return. What do you mean by belated return? Return filed after due date. Still, can there be mistake? Can I rectify that also under section 139.4? I will file the return under 139.4 and rectify under 139, which simply means I can revise which return? A return which was filed on time I can revise, or a return which was filed late. Which one can I revise? Both. Listen to this. You must know the history. Before 2017, you all were there? Of course. Just made it. Or there but not there, almost same. You all were not there in CA for sure. Before 2017, this line was this much. That means if you file your original return on time, you can revise. If you file your original return late, you can't revise. In fact, here, when we said consequences of filing belated return, can you see this? We used to have a fifth point, cannot revise. Belated return cannot be revised was also one of the consequences of belated return. 2017 budget, Jaitley ji said no, it's okay, revise. So that is, can I say, no longer a punishment for belated return? Can we revise belated also? And that is where Jaitley ji also added this year. He said what? Your original return can be filed under 139.1 or 139.4. Both of them can be revised. Have you all understood this? So, which one can I revise? 139.1 or 139.4? Both. Acha, one more thing I must tell you. When belated return was not allowed to be revised, then we were approaching CBDT. Sir, my original was belated. Please allow me to revise. But now you don't need that because the law simply allows you without anything. So can we revise both on time as well as belated? Yes, of course. But then listen. Shruti was born in previous year 23-24. Sorry, my bad. Arey, wo 3-4 only I want. I was thinking 3-4 only, but I spoke 23-24. But I am already a CA. Okay? I am already a CA. You can't make these mistakes. And I am revising it 2003-4. Don't take this as an excuse to create a cover for yourself. 2003 and 4. 2003-4 because February 2004, I hope you understand, falls in 3-4, not 4-5. 3-4. That means assessment year 4-5. Correct? Whatever was the return filed by Shruti for that year, she had zero knowledge of taxation at that time. Now she has little bit knowledge of taxation. She comes across that return of AY 4-5 when she was a newborn and she was a so she notices some mistakes in that return. Can she revise that return today? No, you can't say no. You have to ask, sir, what is the time limit? Just like there was time limit to file return on time, John, if I miss that, there was time limit to file late return. Likewise, there is also a time limit to revise the return. You understand? So, I can revise my return within how much time? I can revise my return within 3 months before end of assessment year. Now, you will have to be a little swift because we've done this before. End of assessment year is 31st March 26 for your exam. So 3 months before that is, that means can I say you can actually learn this date also for revised return purposes? Was the same time limit also for belated? Yes, 3 months before end of assessment year or completion of assessment. Now please tell me, when does assessment get over? When the order is passed. Of course, here it may not be best judgment because you have filed the return. It can contain mistakes, but you filed return, so it is not best judgment. It can be any order. It can be a normal order also, out of the two, whichever is earlier. But if you go by the time limit specifically mentioned, do you observe carefully that in the belated return as well as revised return, the time limit given is same, 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to learn this. You have to learn this. It's a very, very important part. 3 months before the end of the relevant assessment year or completion of assessment, whichever is earlier. Which means, can I say here also the time limit applicable will be December. So ladies and gentlemen, today we go home with a very, very important thought, that the normal due date for filing return will be July, October, November. If we miss that date, then few months later, the December which comes is the last date within which I can file my belated return, or also the last date within which I can revise my return. Understood? After December, if I have not filed, I can't file, and if I have filed, I can't revise. What is the time limit to file belated return as well as revised return? Ladies and gentlemen, 3 months before end of the assessment year or completion of assessment, whichever is earlier. Correct hai? Sir, if I miss December, can I file belated after December? No. And can I revise? No. Sir, whether that or this. Sir, please, sir, sir, please, sir, please, sir, sir, please, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time. CBDT can relax under CBDT can relax under section 119. CBDT can relax under section 119, which is why I said 5 problem, 1 solution is L'Oreal, and all problems, 1 solution is. Believe me, after your portion gets over, no, these words will echo in your mind. When you come across this, when you revise this, all problems, 1 solution, CBDT. Is that clear, everyone? So if I miss the due date of revised return, I can still revise if I take CBDT approval. Of course, genuine circumstances. Fantastic. Next. But for India, it will always be 31st March. Indian tax compliance will be as per 31st March. Their accounting year in their country can be different. But for Indian tax filing purposes, you have to take the financial year. ठीक है? हाँ. File ही नहीं किया तो how you will revise? Then look at the point number 2 that you have written under revised return. Belated किया है. You filed up to 31st December. When did you file? On 31st December. If you notice a mistake, revise on the same day. If you don't revise on the same day, this time limit is over. You understand, belated and revised time limit gets over on the same day. So you revise on the same day, and if you later realize, then this is your only option. Understood? Later we will talk about a concept called updated return, subsection 8A, but right now it is this one. Updated ka we'll discuss later. What is this concept called updated return and how auntie has made a customer of all of us. We are all auntie's customers. Then I'll talk about updated return when I come to that. Ye clear hai? Fantastic. Everyone. Okay. Are we all human beings? How many times human beings can get married? How many times human being can make mistake? Once. You are saying that? Once. Bro, you of all people are legally allowed 4. You still say once? No. So let me make it clear. Unlimited times. Not just you, bro, it is for me also. Unlimited times. You just have to legally separate with your. We are not talking about your marriage and relation. By mistake, I said marriage. I was talking about making a mistake. How many times you can make a mistake? Only once. Bro, you know how many times you came late to my class? What makes you say that you can make mistake only once? When you, how many times you have come late to my class? You have any number? Today is the 38th lecture. 38 times? Perfect. Perfect. Does not even require, discussion or explanation. Tell me one lecture when you came to class before I came. Before I started lecture, nahi. Before I came. There were a couple of occasions where you were, and I was at myself like looking at the watch and shocked, am I late? Because you were in class. But have you ever come before I came? Maybe because you had a morning lecture before me. Ha. That's probably the only time you came. So, are you still trying to say that you can make mistake only once? Then I would like to remind you how many mistakes. No, you can make mistakes unlimited times, and we will allow you to revise your return also, ladies and gentlemen, unlimited times. However, all the revision has to take place within the time limit given above. So, listen. Before December, you want to revise your return 100 times. We are allowing you to do that. Last date is December. CBDT is not available on a day-to-day basis. Before December, you can voluntarily revise your return hundreds of times. ये clear है? How many times can we revise our return? How many times we can make mistake? Unlimited times, and all the times we will be allowed to revise our return. Next, this is also important to note. In 139.5, we are allowed to reduce our income or tax liability. I do not want any misconception. Supposingly, I am filing a revised return. Is it compulsory that my tax shown in revise should be greater than the original return? If I have some deductions which I forgot, some exemption which I forgot, some rebate which I forgot, the tax can reduce also in revised return. It is not compulsory to increase tax every time you revise return. Can we reduce income? Yes. Can we reduce tax? Yes. Revised return is for rectification of mistake, not for increasing the tax. So can we reduce also? Absolutely yes. Everyone is clear? Next, we have a Supreme Court judgment. Name of the assessee, Goetz India Limited. Supreme Court judgment. At intermediate level, court cases may not be relevant, but conceptually it will help you. Okay. What happened was, assessee filed return. Once upon a time, there used to be paper returns. So, while writing the digits manually, people used to make mistakes. Assessee's depreciation was 1 lakh. Assessee wrote like this and submitted the return. What is the mistake? 10 he missed. In e-filing, so it will immediately be caught, but manual returns it was not getting caught. Assessee submitted this return, and assessee got a notice to pay tax on 90,000 difference. You understand how 90 ka difference came? Instead of 1 lakh deduction, I have written 10,000. So income increased by 90. Assessee was mentally sure that I have no tax liability. Where is this 90 coming from? Assessee examined all the data given, because one copy he also had, photocopy for acknowledgement. He's like, oh no, I have written 10 less. Correct? Eh? Because of this, I am getting a notice to pay tax on 90,000. Abhi assessee thought that if I now tell the CA to again change it and all for filing revised return, again he will take money. He tried a different stunt. He went to a gift shop. Abhi your generation may not understand what is a gift shop, what are greeting cards, because you all understand greetings also through emojis. Happy birthday, then 2-3 bouquet ka photos, 2-3 beer glass photos, and that's how we, champagne wala bottle, wo slanting champagne bottle, that's how we wish people. Or that wo party wala emoji come no, that's that's how we wish people happy birthday. It was not like that during our childhood. In our childhood, ek to birthday parties used to be organized at our houses. Paper plate, one cake ka piece, some potato chips, one melody or eclairs, and one samosa. Same childhood. And there used to be that one big balloon in the center. We used to burst that, and chocolates used to fall, and we used to jump and take. Before that birthday party, we used to go to gift shops. There used to be specialized, customized greeting cards. Our generation is not the panda or the minion. We used to have Mickey Mouse, Tom and Jerry in our childhood. So, if my friend likes Mickey Mouse, I will go to the gift shop and purchase a customized Mickey Mouse happy birthday greeting card. Customized greeting card used to come. You open the card, there used to be light. You open the card, there used to be music. I belong to that generation. You also belong to same generation. Almost the same generation. Minor age gap. See, understand the age gap is minor only. Depth, understand. The age gap is minor. U plus 1 minor equal to. Huh? These gift shops ka experience you guys don't have. Maybe. So I'll tell you. These gift shops also used to sell customized blank letters. आप बोलेगा sir, how can blank be customized? This is a letter that we used to purchase. Blank hai with lines. There used to be watermark. You all know watermark? Low color background of roses. And they were fragrance wala greeting cards. So if you open them, like literally you had roses ka smell coming from the paper. Scented we used to call. So we never proposed anyone on WhatsApp. We used to actually buy these letters. And there was a culture of writing love letters. We belong to that generation. So you also tried this time. This assessee tried this time. This assessee went to the gift shop, purchased a letter. My dear, dear, dear assessing officer. Moi. अरे moi. Moi. My dear, dear assessing officer. Moi. How are you? Hope you are good. We are also fine. Because school mail, letter writing, these are the first sentences, 3 sentences that hope everyone is fine at your end. Everything is fine here also. This is to inform you that recently I filed my income tax return, in which I wrote depreciation figure of 10,000. However, the actual figure is 1 lakh. It is only 1 zero missing. I kindly request you to add this 1 zero back, and accordingly the return will be rectified. Yours lovingly, yours truly. Mwah, 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 mwah. Assessee. And if the assessing officer is of opposite gender, to incorporate more love. Bro, you doing same gender also. अबे ये सब शौक है तेरे. What do I do? Same gender में भी है. So what was that S? छोड़. So you submitted this letter basically to get your rectification of depreciation figure. Now you want to know what the assessing officer did with this letter. He did with this letter exactly what happened with all your other letters. Better luck next time. Sir, don't remind us, sir. But the truth cannot be denied. He refused to accept this letter. He said, I don't accept letters. You want to change depreciation figure? File another revised return within the time limit. You can do it unlimited times. I will not accept letter. Assessee went up to Supreme Court and said, sir, the AO is not accepting my letter, sir. Tell him to accept my letter. And the question before Supreme Court is, should the AO be under duty to take your letter? Or he can refuse and force you to revise return by filing another return, not a letter? Is the question. Who gave the answer? Don't say, sir, Goetz India gave the answer. Supreme Court gave the answer in the case of Goetz India that ROI can be changed only and only by way of fresh ROI, plain piece of paper, not accepted. Supreme Court decided this. AO will not accept your letters. Stop giving letters. You know, wherever you give, it is not accepted. Stop only. Put efforts, channelize your efforts in the direction where you are going to get returns. See, you do a lot of hard work in your exam. See, you will get returns. You do a lot of hard work in any business, profession, in any talent that you are pursuing. See, you will get return. But what you guys are currently pursuing, you are not going to get anything. And stupid are those who say that no, whether you get anything or no, you should love without expectation. Pagal hai. Why should you love without expectation? Or maybe you want to keep that one-sided love, you keep it. Okay? in your mind all the imaginary conversations that you do, but focus on the things that are going to give you return in the long run. There is only one target that you should keep. 10 years later, believe me, I targeted this somewhere between my inter and final, and I achieved it. 10 years later from today, 10 years later, whoever has said no to you today should be under deep regret 10 years from now, should be feeling that how I wish I should have said yes to this guy, this girl. I shouldn't have said no here. And I apply that policy, that principle even today in my life. I normally don't approach coaching organizations that I want to work with you, because if I approach, then I have to work as per their conditions. I wait for them to approach. First point only I put my conditions. The second meeting you keep only if you are okay with my cover page, my logo in the lecture. You are okay, then we keep the second meeting. Otherwise, we don't keep the meeting. But whoever has said no, I am very clear. I have not forgotten their names. I am very clear that 10 years later, even today, not just personal life, professional life, whoever says no to you should bloody hell regret 10 years later. Should regret 10 years later. Bro, come back. Get over your emotions. Someone like, sir, whether I have taken anything that you said seriously or no, this I am definitely going to do. And after going out, you will check her Insta stories. Yeah, everything goes down the drain the moment you step out of the class. I know this generation very well. I told you how I know the generations very well, because I am in constant touch with people of all the generations. So ladies and gentlemen, ROI can be changed. Supreme Court said this: you can't give a paper, you have to file a fresh return of income. Is that clear? Last, a revised ROI. Can we file revised return unlimited times within the time limit? It will fully replace your original ROI. Revised return fully replaces original return except the date of filing. Revised return fully replaces original return except the date of filing. I also tell this to CA final students. Date from old return, data from new return. Supposingly I file a return on a particular date, first return, that's my original return. Now I want to revise. Before December, I can revise unlimited times. Every time I revise, whatever I have changed sales, purchases, profit, basic tax, final tax. Bloody hell, you have changed your gender, because between the two returns you underwent operation. Whatever you have changed will be taken from the new return. But if you are asked the date of filing, it will be the old return, the first return. Data from new return, date from old return. While this, as conceptual, sir, understood, which will be considered as the old date. In practical life, once you work in CA firm, every due date of John, if your firm has clients who have that due date, believe me, you are going to use this point more than anything else, because we are Indians. Our always forever question is this only. Sir, what is the last date to do? Sir, when is the last date? We always want to do everything on the last moment. There are so many Japanese costing concepts. There is a concept called Kaizen. I don't know whether these concepts are in your syllabus. Kaizen. Continuous professional improvement. You should be better every day. I try to be better in every batch compared to the previous batch. Does not mean, okay, sir, we are going now, we'll come in the next batch only, you will be better. I try to improve myself professionally on a regular basis. Kaizen, it's a costing concept. There is a concept called Six Sigma. Six Sigma means I don't believe in normal loss. I don't believe that if I have taught 200 sections, it is okay to not teach 2 sections properly. There is nothing called normal loss. Japanese में ऐसा rule है that that you make 100 products, so 5 can be defective, is basically allowable normal loss. What the Japanese do is they say that we cannot have a single defective piece. It has to be 100% perfect. That is Six Sigma. There are so many costing concepts that if you apply in your daily life, you can actually earn huge profits. But the only costing concept which I see Indians apply in their life is a concept called just in time. We want to do everything on the due date, just before the due date of applying penalty. So what happens in CA firms? Our returns are not ready only till the due date. Due date has come, our calculations are not over. And once the due date goes, we will have all the consequences of belated. So CA firms do this, listen carefully. On the due date, they open the return software. They write name of the company, whatever be the assessee, name of the assessee, PAN, previous year assessment. Salary zero, house property zero, PGBP, capital gain, IFOS 0000, basic tax zero, सब कुछ 00000. Submit the return. Return filed on due date, due date, due date, due date, due date. Correct? Hai? Now, when the data is received, complete your computation. After completing computation, when you are ready with your final answer, now do what? Revise the return. All the data will be from the new return, which may be, in August, September, October, any date before 31st December, but it will still be considered as return filed on 31st July. That means we will not apply any belated issue. No interest, no penalty, nothing, despite the fact that your calculation only was not ready till the due date. We call it nil return filing before due date and revising after due date, so that our return is considered as on-time return. And this is the last point that we use in our day-to-day life. Every CA firm uses this. Bro, forget every CA firm. In 2023, I used it. Financial year 22-23 got over. I had to file my return for assessment year 23-24. I was taking one last batch of November attempt, CA inter November, during the months of June, July. Middle of June I started. Means all the subjects of that batch were over. Only direct tax was left. 15th or 20th June I started. And due date was 31st July. Batch completion and my return file. So morning ka CA final lecture. I used to leave my house at 5:30. It's a very far away place. And then CA inter by 6 o'clock I used to come home. Up since 4:30. I used to be like a dead body by then. And for filing of return, I have to make my annual computation, accounts, everything. I did not have time on. When 31st July ka date came, I was scared because if I file my return late, I will be having interest fees. And with the grace of God, my NTTI as per my tax records does exceed 5 lakh rupees. Tax record, actual. My NTTI does exceed 5 lakh. So I will have fees of penalty of 5,000 rupees. I will have interest. I will have lots of issues. On 31st of July, I filed the return by putting 00000. 31st July, my batch got over. New batch of May 24 attempt was supposed to start by middle of August. I had about 10-15 days of only CA final lecture because inter lectures were not to be started immediately. Foundation ka result is out. Then few days students are taught only accounts, costing, FM. Tax is something that has to start a little late for the understanding that you got to have knowledge of some other subjects before you start learning tax. I had that time. I revised my return and no consequence of belated return because my first return was filed on time. This is the point. Read the point. All this explanation was for your real life practical knowledge. Believe me, if I keep exam as target, I can finish your syllabus today also and tell you that syllabus is over. Don't come. Exam is not the only target. We have to set a very, very strong base for our articleship and CA final. So because every time an influencer tries to influence you to your CA final ka coaching decision, that you are going to take, I may not be able to influence. I can only do good work here to make you understand that number of followers on social media and how much we have paid influencers to divert students to our channels does not mean that it's a good class for the purpose of your CA final. And I to always tell CA inter students, every time you are making a coaching decision, just go and ask that coaching class list of teachers of inter and list of teachers of final. If the names are same, go join that class. So that class is doing justice to you. Because final they cannot give to any random guy. Final they need to have the most appropriate person. But in inter, they play around. Most of them. Low cost faculties to reduce the overall batch cost. If they are keeping the same guy at inter, that means they are doing justice. That's your only benchmark. You have any junior who wants to learn CA intermediate, your brother, sister, anyone. I am not saying join my class. If I am good, you will automatically tell, which you have already, you have. I say I am assuming. You told me that you told your sister you showed my books and etc. If I am good, you will automatically tell them. I don't need to say that again and again and again. I have to be good here in class. If you don't motivate your friends or juniors to join my class, just tell them go to any coaching class and ask the name of interfaculty and find. That's the deciding factor, because inter is the, believe me, is the game changer. If you do not take these topics seriously here for your knowledge, exam you don't take seriously, it's okay. For your knowledge, then you are probably doing injustice to your CA final. Now only you are creating trouble for yourself. And this trouble I face very heavily because my CA final batch comprises major crowd of outsiders. Of course, sir, so your students don't come as any. My students plus major crowd of outsiders. So I at least want a situation where 3 years from today, when we are sitting along with those outsiders, at least we appear more knowledgeable, brighter, more logical when it comes to our approach towards taxation. And I say shamelessly, you may join any other coaching class, because ultimately this generation is going to listen to influencer only. If an influencer says that, oh, this professor earns these many crores in these many months, so you may think that it's a good or bad class. When you go there, you are free to go there. Even if I say don't go there, if you want to go, you will go. You are not in my control. We both of us understand that. You go there, you should miss this logic. You should regret your decision. For that, I have to be good. I can't do anything else. If I have to make you regret, I have to be good. And therefore, whatever be your approach, ke sir, bas na syllabus related things are over, we are not going to take any chance. So the most important part of this chapter is 139, 1, 3, 4, 5. While the chapter is still not over, we have some, not very important but not very useless sections left. First, we go to actually useless section. We have section 139, 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, 4E, 4F, and believe me, I tell this to CA final students also. So we do 139, 1 important, 3 useless. Now we did 3 important, so 6 useless. Never touch them again ever in life. You have to focus on 139, 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, and move ahead in life. Section 139, 9 is talking about something called defective ROI. What is it called? Arey bro, we are talking about return, not your brain. The ones who are laughing the loudest are the ones who related to this highest. Share kya ITU certificate? So you have your own, she has her own. Nahi hai. You want it, and you'll get easily because deserving it. Focus. 139.9 defective ROI. Whenever we file our return, along with our return, if certain data or information is not attached, along with our return, if certain data or information is not attached, my assessing officer will declare my return as defective ROI, which I will have to rectify within a period of 15 days. My AO will tell me that in your return you have not submitted this particular data, therefore your return is defective. Kindly submit this data within a period of 15 days, and if you fail to do so, close your eyes. Not you, everyone else. Close your eyes and imagine someone who has not filed return. If someone does not file return, do you understand the consequences? If you are eligible for refund, you won't get it because you have not filed return. Your interest, fees, everything will be attracted because you have not filed return. It is as good as you have not filed ROI, because the defective return that you have filed after 15 days will be thrown in the gutter, go down the drain. We will consider that return gone, and it is as good as you have not filed return. To give you a practical real life example, okay, when I got married, so ma'am's brother is also chartered accountant. He used to file, even today he only files all the returns of family members. So she is extremely close to her brother. Like any, Indian brother sister, they always fight with each other, but they cry for each other. Indian brothers always fight. Indian sisters always love each other. But Indian brother and sister, they fight with each other, but they cry behind each other's back for each other. That's the kind of relations that we have. So she is extremely close to her brother. In fact, वो बोलते हैं ना कि sharing of secrets. So there is any conversation that I have with her brother, he will tell her, and any conversation that I have with her, she will tell her brother. So if I have to tell something to the other person, I have to tell something to ma'am, which I can't say directly, I tell her brother. I know message will reach. It is so obvious now. So, like every brother, he was like on the wedding day. So now she is yours, take care of her, etc. So don't worry. Fantastic. Absolutely no problem. Some months after my marriage, I called him. How's everything? All good? Your sister must have shared all the reports about me. I am a good person, bad person. It's been a few months now. And she shares everything with me. So am I taking care of her? Matlab, am I good in my responsibilities? Am I a good husband? And say it clearly, because if there is any scope of improvement, I want to be the good guy. And none of us are perfect. There may be some bad points in me, which all of us do have. So if there is any area of improvement, you may kindly let me know. You are the best person. He's like, no, 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 no. She always says so many good things about her, that because you take so much care that she does not miss home, she does not miss any of us. Fantastic. That means I am good. Okay. Am I doing responsibilities properly? Yes. Am I taking care of her? Yes. To do one thing, now her basic exemption also I will take. Chalo, send the papers. Return I will file. You have been filing? Fantastic. Now I will file. Basic exemption I will take. She had good running income in her city, but due to change of city, and initially she did not take up any work because she wanted to settle here first. So no income. So no income means I can divert mine. So I said I will do it. Enough of diverting your family income. If responsibility is mine, then slabs are also mine. Deal is simple. Responsibility mine, to slabs also. And he sent it. He sent what? Nothing. I asked what? Last balance sheet you give me, on the basis of what was her capital account, what were the loans, what jewelry, bank balance I can still verify with the passbook. Last balance sheet you give me, and during this financial year, whatever transactions have taken in the bank statement, I will record all the transactions. So I will come to know how much income I can show during the year, and I will make the closing balance sheet. So you give me the opening balance sheet, I will record the transactions, and I will get the closing balance sheet. Simple final accounts. He said, no, I have got no balance sheet. I just write the income figures in the return and submit. Like, yeah. No, I don't submit balance sheet. Like, yeah, anything. Now me telling him that nonsense mat bolo, so I can't, because message will go as I told you. And me going and telling ma'am that your brother is speaking nonsense, he's filing returns without balance sheet, profit and loss account. How? I can't do that also. But I told her that without balance sheet, how will I record current year transaction? She's like, do one thing, just check the passbook. Whatever are the incomes that have come in the bank statement, just record them and submit them as entity. Without any balance sheet or P&L, just show the heads of income. I said, it does not work like that. Because we were newly married, no? So therefore she didn't say you don't know anything in tax. Today, trust me, she can say that also. You don't know anything. But newly married, you don't talk like that. So very politely I said that, but we are taking a risk. She's like, you do know, then we'll see later. Then within a few days of filing return, we got a notice. Your return does not contain balance sheet, profit and loss account. Real life, I am giving you example of 139.9, real life actual case and live example sitting right in front of you. Your return does not contain data of balance sheet, P&L. You cannot have PGBP without balance sheet, P&L. Kindly submit balance sheet within a period of 15 days. Otherwise, your return will be declared as no return. It will be ignored. Invalid return, as good as no return. And now I was like, oh. और भाई कैसी रही? हाँ, yes, that. Now can you please care to send the balance sheet? Now we made balance sheet as per single entry. So listen how we started man's return filing records. Bank passbook balance, chalo, that we can write on the asset side. Cash I showed as per my choice. Loans I showed as per my choice. Jewelry I showed as per my choice. And liability side capital. Asset side total equal to capital account on the liability side. I confirm. No loan etc. taken in her name. Bola no. If there was loan, I would have subtracted that. Matlab my capital account was balancing figure. I made balance sheet like P&L account. My capital account, single entry system, you understand? My balance sheet was like a P&L account. Capital account was balancing figure in my balance sheet. And that balance sheet is continuing even 10 years later because I am recording annual transactions. But the start 10 years ago was a wrong start. And that mistake has been carried forward for the last 10. Now to hell with it. The point is, if we did not file another return, submitting the balance sheet P&L within a period of 15 days, that return would have gone down the drain. That's your section 139. File kiya, then we got notice. So basically, earlier he was showing return under salary. Or salary income mein you don't need balance sheet. And I said, now I will be showing because I get professional receipts. See, she was having a job there. She was working in one of the biggest CA firms over there in the internal audit department. So salaried income mein, salaried employee you don't need balance sheet. I'm so glad you understood the full story and therefore you created this doubt. As a salaried employee, you don't need balance sheet P&L because balance sheet P&L is required under business profession. But I required start balance sheet because I was showing income under PGBP. I said, you give me start balance sheet, then return modifications I will do in the current year. But he said, no, I have been always filing like this, so I have never made a balance sheet. As a rule, when you start return filing of people, even if they are salaried employees, you should still make their personal balance sheet. Something as simple as bank balance, jewelry, loans and capital account, etc. So that by chance a salaried employee ever becomes a PGBP guy, you should be having opening balance sheet, P&L account and closing balance sheet. That is why there was no notice earlier. But I did tell him that I am going to show PGBP income, so I will need starting balance sheet. He did not give me that. Understood? Haji. Nil rated. Nil return. No, na, because within a few days I rectified. Well, I revised it. See, invalid return ka notice, defective return ka notice does not come very next day. It comes after few days, it may come after 1 month also. After notice, you have 15 days to rectify. So I filed. And within 5 days, I revised. So even before they could find out the defect, I have submitted revised return. They have to ignore original and take the revised. I told you, original will be ignored. Everything will be taken from the revised return. If by chance I wouldn't have revised, so maybe within 1 month I would have got a defective return. Then my time limit available is only 15 days. Still, I can revise. No, that rectification that I am doing here is as good as filing a revised return. Understood or no? Fantastic. So that was your defective RO. Next, section 139A, the concept of PAN. I will make you leave CA if I ever hear you saying PAN number. And I know to which your reaction is, sir, everyone talks like that only. No, it is PAN number only. No. What is PAN? Permanent account number. So what is PAN number? Permanent account number. If you say PAN number, I will make you leave CA. It is not PAN number. It is PAN. Permanent account number. This permanent account number is your basically identity with income tax department. Income tax department does not know you by your name and surname because there are plenty of people of your name and surname in the country. Income tax department will give you a 10-digit alphanumeric combo. That is your identity. The first three are alphabetical sequence AAA, AAB, AAC. When I applied for pen, I was already at B. When my brother is 5 years younger, his pen starts with E. That means you understand how alphabetically the sequence has changed. You may to probably be what JKL. You don't have pen only. C है ओके ठीक है अंडरस्टैंडेबल नहीं नहीं अंडरस्टैंडेबल सही है हाँ सही है नो प्रॉब्लम वॉलंटरली दे आर कमिंग एंड सेइंग सर मैं सी है अभी व्हाट डू आई डू ठीक है फर्स्ट थ्री आर an alphabetical sequence. The fourth is the nature of assessee. Please pay attention everyone. For individuals, this is P for person. So all of you all mentally calculate your or imagine your PAN. The fourth alphabet is P. If it's company, it will be C. If it is firm, it will be F. It is LLP, it will be L. If it is AOP, it will be A. If it is HUF, it will be H. The fourth will be nature of assessee. The fifth will be, if you are individual, the first alphabet of your surname. For example, in my case, it is PS. Check first letter of surname. And in case of companies, it will be, for example, Reliance Industries Limited. It will be CR. This reflects nature of assessee and first alphabet of your name, but for individuals, it will be surname. Siddharth Surana HUF. It is like this, H and S. Then we have a 4-digit number sequence 1111 1112 1113. These four are numbers, and then last is a secret character, secret randomly chosen from alphabets A to Z or from numbers 0 to 9. Any character will be randomly added. This gives them more permutations. You understand? If we want to stop your pen here, for this we will have 26 variants from A to Z. You understand or no? So last one will always be a secretly entered character so that we can have more permutations of this number only. In fact, you must also know that GST registration is also same. Just that before this you will have your state code. So in Maharashtra, it is state code 27. And state code with PAN is basically your GST registration number. We call it the GST, taxpayers identification number. Permanent account number, PAN is your identity with the income tax department. Income tax department does not know you by your name, surname. This is your identity. Next time that old irritating uncle in your society WhatsApp group or in your family WhatsApp group, every family WhatsApp group, every society WhatsApp group has one old irritating uncle who will send useless forwards, who will send good morning message every day with a different color flower and with a motivational quote. Some of them have added you to their broadcast list. All these family WhatsApp groups are a big pain. You can't even leave them because then people have ego issues. What do you think you are? You think you are chartered accountant, so you're very smart. You are leaving family WhatsApp group. You have got no bonding with the family. You think you are educated. That means you have to smile. Archive those chats. You see my list of archive chats, no? You will have, 5,000 message in one group, 10,000 message in another group. Those are those chats which I can't leave also. Some of them are ma'am ka family groups. You understand how I can't leave them? And at the same time, they irritate me to the core. Bro, there are, ma'am ka great grandfather ka family. So every day there is either one birthday or one anniversary. And everyone, there are 50 messages on a given particular day. Bro, if you leave my archive chats, because they don't come in notification, the actual chats which I'm interested in at any given point of time, minimum 500 on certain festival occasions, because festival occasions people have this fantasy of forwarding, broadcasting greetings, which is understandable. Chalo. So 1,000, 2,000, my birthday, anniversary, etc. Sometimes I go to 5,000 plus unread messages. And I don't mind people, it is something that everyone likes. If on your birthday, on your anniversary, people are messaging you, on festivals, people are greeting you, everyone likes, human nature. In fact, we reply to them also. But my only problem is that in these chats, I have hundreds of students who have probably also messaged their doubts, and it is my undertaking and responsibility that I am going to reply to your doubts within 48 hours. Doubt. Sir, PDF is not opening. Oh, that is not, I am not going to even respond to it. I am going to respond. Guarantee hai, ask any of my past students if I have taken the 49th hour to reply to doubts. And I will reply. No criticism, but ये fact है that those places where influencers are trying to divert students, you have to send email to their assistant if you are having a doubt, and their assistant will reply after 1 week. The faculty is not available to answer to your doubts after getting paid. I can't do that. And please don't conclude by saying, हाँ हाँ तेरे को तो क्या ही message. You can check how many students I have or how many messages. Or maybe you may be thinking like that, sir, your explanation does not create doubts only. So there is no problem. Maybe if that is your conclusion. But if you have any small or big doubt, reply will come from me only, not any admin, not any assistant. Subject ka doubts. Sir, app is not working, PDF is not opening. Sir, if I register on this website, what will happen? If I register on that website, what will happen? That team will explain to you on WhatsApp. If I start doing that, things are going to be difficult for me. My duty is to respond to your doubts, and only me, nobody else will respond to those doubts. And at CA final, if students have to send their doubts on email to an admin team member and get replies from an assistant, not from the faculty who has taught you or for whom you paid, then I think it is morally and ethically incorrect also to the faculty. If you can't cater to these many people, then maybe stop selling your lectures to these many people. You should serve to the extent, you should generate your income to the extent you can serve in a rightful manner. But there are people who are going to do that. So before you take your decision, which you are free to, absolutely free to, please investigate this also, because I must tell you, doubt solving is a very, very important part till your exam. And you dare not enroll elsewhere and send me your doubt. Don't even dare to think about it. Because what will I do? Nothing. Nothing. I won't reply. Obviously, I will not reply. Once, one student who studied from me at final, friend studied somewhere else, same, big name, but no shame. So doubts ka reply only friend is not getting. My student is asking me, sir, he is not getting reply to doubts. I said, I can't do anything. Then this friend sent a photo of his teacher's book to my student. Okay, I am not understanding these things and I am not getting any replies in so long. I just took the admission on the basis of number of subscribers on YouTube and followers and influencers. Can you ask your sir? My student forwarded that photo to me. My jawab was question mark, question mark, question mark. Then student said, sir, this friend has sent and he is not getting answer. So can you help this friend of mine? I said, who are you, Mother Teresa? You mind your own business. I didn't say that. You want to guess what I did? I didn't ignore. I didn't ignore. That photo, of course, had the name of that respective teacher. I sent that teacher's personal number. Remember, forward this to your friend. Because I have personal numbers of all teachers. Whoever is teaching my subject also. And I don't see anybody as a competition here. Multiple times I have said, if you are unwell, I will complete your batch free of cost. If I am unwell, you complete my batch free of cost. In any case, students should not suffer loss. That's my main target. I don't want to criticize anyone. But I sent the personal number. Bola, tell your teacher I have paid. So I will not wait for admin team to reply. It is your responsibility to reply to doubts. And still, if your teacher does not reply, then now you can't do anything But please make sure you tell your juniors this. But whether they tell or no, I am only telling you. This is the reality. And any person who has trust issues, 1, 2, 3, any person who has trust issues, I can show this entire conversation to you with my student on WhatsApp right now. You have trust issues? I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you only. I asked 3 people who appear to have trust issues over the last few months. They all 3 have said no. No need to say. Take me on face value. Bro, at the end of my syllabus, that much trust you don't have? Bro, I'm not coming tomorrow. You study the remaining 3 lectures from someone else. I can show you the entire conversation. So, are we clear? This is how pen is created. Those old and irritating uncles in the family WhatsApp groups, they send those good morning messages. One of those messages you must have ever come across is going to be this: never be attached to anything in life. Nothing is permanent. Send a photo of your PAN card to that uncle and tell that uncle, this is permanent. The dimag mat kharab. Every uncle who says nothing is permanent, show him this and say, uncle, this is permanent. Is that clear? Permanent account number. And this section 139A has given us 2 things. 1. Kya hai re? 1. Taking pen is, I'll not do it like this. I'll do it like this only. Taking pen is compulsory for whom? Who? You already know it. Chal, 139AA next section. Nahi, pen is not compulsory for all. Who are the people for whom applying for pen is compulsory? And can you believe this? Parallelly, they also give who are the people for whom pen is not compulsory. Wah, Modi ji, wah. Who are the people for whom pen is compulsory? Who are the people for whom pen is not compulsory? And can you believe what is the first point here? Just see this, huh? Any person who is not covered here, it is not compulsory. That means if you don't fall in the list of compulsory, it is not. Wow, Modi ji, wow. Wow. Kitne tejasvi. Any person whose name does not come in compulsory. For that person, pen is wow. Wow. मजा आया? Fantastic. Without reasoning, just because you are sitting next to him, he is giving you some maza secretly. Ladies and gentlemen, for whom is applying for PAN compulsory? Any person who is accessible to tax. Any person who is accessible to tax. That means you have tax liability. You are accessible to tax in respect of your own income. Mitro, you are accessible to tax in respect of your own income, or you are accessible to tax in respect of others. Sir, how can I be accessible to tax in respect of others? How can I be accessible to tax for others? How? Clubbing of income. So you will have to apply for PAN. Supposingly you don't have income, but your minor child has income, you will have to apply for PAN. Any person who is accessible to tax. Second, if you want to take any indirect tax registration, you want to register. I mean, now we say that one nation, one tax, GST. But what if I tell you customs is still there, stamp duty is still there, income tax is still there? Thank God, income tax is there. Thank God, income tax is there. For all these registrations, for example, you start your business and you want to take GST registration. No? There will be a checklist of documents. The first document will be your PAN card. PAN is compulsory for any kind of, by the way, I must tell you, service tax, VAT is also there. Or your favorite products? Petroleum, alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Any indirect tax registration, you will need PAN. If you are doing business and in your business your turnover has exceeded 5 lakh, then PAN is going to be compulsory. Any person doing any small or big business, if your turnover crosses 5 lakh, compulsory. If you are a trustee of a trust, see, most trustees now are retired people. Most trusts you see, no, trustees are old age people who have retired from active work life and don't want to sit at home and get bored. Because at old age also, if you are at home, then your wife will make you wash utensils. So it is better to go and do social work outside instead of doing social work at home. So they go and become trustees. They may not be having own income, but they are liable on behalf of the trust. So trustee of a trust. Next, any person who is resident other than individual. So when we say resident excluding individual, whom are we talking about? HUF, company, firm, LLP. And you have done financial transaction exceeding rupees 2.5 lakh. They have not defined transaction, so it can be purchase, sale, loan, anything. Any HUF, company, firm that has done financial transaction exceeding rupees 2,50,000 will have to apply for PAN, and it will also include the Karta. So if HUF is covered, then Karta is applicable for HUF. Partner is applicable for firm. Director will be applicable for, correct or no? Manager will be applicable for AOP. So the organization and the responsible human being, both of them will have to apply for PAN. And because auntie wants to keep her options open, she added this word, any other notified person. So whenever we want, we will bring an announcement that following people have to apply for PAN and cover you in mandatory application of PAN. These are the people for whom applying for PAN is going to be compulsory. Is that clear? So there will still be people for whom it is not compulsory. Who are those people? Any person who is not covered in the list, not compulsory. Any person who is non-resident, applying for PAN is not compulsory. Any person who is minor child, Bhakti and Adnan, PAN है, you have PAN, compulsory नहीं, compulsory नहीं. Okay. If you are English agriculturist, English bad. If you are farmer, PAN application is not compulsory. Because if you observe, minor will pay tax in the account of parent. Farmer does not have any tax consequences. So these people applying for PAN is not compulsory. While the list of compulsory, not compulsory gets over here, believe me, ladies and gentlemen, for whomsoever PAN is not compulsory also, they all apply. You may not fall in any of this. Check, look at yourself. Are you accessible to tax? Let's have a big lol. Are you accessible to tax? You have taxable income? You have income? You're not accessible, but you have PAN. As a minor also you have PAN. In fact, when a minor child applies for PAN, minor ka photo is not printed. Otherwise, all major ka PAN pe photo is also printed. Why? Because out of all the recognized government ID proofs, PAN card, passport, voter ID, Aadhaar card, driving license, the easiest to obtain is PAN card. In PAN card, you are an asset for the government. You will pay taxes. Everywhere else, you are a liability. People apply for PAN only so that it works as an ID proof for something else. For example, for Aadhaar registration, you need one photo ID and one address proof. You have driving license, but you also need PAN. So PAN and driving license, you can apply for Aadhaar card. With Aadhaar, you can apply for passport. Bank account ke liye. Bank account ke liye what? PAN card you will need. But I must tell you one more thing. That of late, bank accounts can be opened without PAN and only Aadhaar number also. For that also, there is some logic in income tax. That's my very next point that I will discuss with you. Very next point. But I am discussing with you what? That people always, first thing that they do is apply for PAN and use that PAN for other registration. So it may not be compulsory. Believe me, all of these people, is it okay to not have PAN? But they still have PAN. You are minor child, you don't have income. It is okay to not have PAN. But you still have PAN because it is easy and it will serve as proof for other activities. That means, can I say there are certain people for whom PAN is compulsory? Supposingly it is compulsory, but you have not applied for PAN. Is that a crime? No. It is compulsory, but you have not applied. Is that a crime? Yes. Is that a violation? Yes. Whenever you do any high value financial transaction, listen to this. Now here comes that. You open bank account, you have to quote your pen. You open demat account, you have to quote your pen. You open FDRD, you have to quote your pen. You buy vehicle. I must tell you, at the time of purchase of vehicles, you don't have driving license, it is okay. But you need pen because income tax department wants to know, do you have funds to buy vehicles? So RTO will take your pen. Do you understand? Whenever you do any high value financial transaction, you will have to quote your PAN. So if you don't quote, is that a violation? We make it clear. Now you will say, sir, actually RTO did not ask for it. Sir, I wanted to open a bank account. Bank did not ask. So I did not give PAN. Wait, it's your fault. Whether they ask or don't ask, you have to give. Let us make it clear. You not giving your PAN is your crime. They have to take it. Without that, they can't do business with you. But if they don't take it, still you have to volunteer to give it. You not quoting is a crime. Or you giving wrong PAN. Photoshop. Your generation understands Photoshop. What other app? Canva, Photoshop. Some people modify some digits so that they don't get caught in high value financial transaction. Fake PAN. Wrong PAN is a crime. Or if you have two PANs. A very famous Bollywood actor. Actually, he is not famous. He is famous because of his father and his wife. Who? Abhishek Bachchan. So obvious, no? The moment you say father and wife, so obvious. You know, there is an Indian cricketer called Stuart Binney. He is retired, I think. You know who is his father? Roger Binney, who was India's highest wicket taker in 1983 World Cup when India won. Roger Binney, who was also recently BCCI president. Roger Binney. And you know who is Stuart Binney's wife? Mayanti Langer, the cricket presenter. You don't know this? Mayanti? A lot of boys watch pre-match presentation ceremony. If Mayanti is on screen only to watch her, ये fact है. देखो, I'll be honest with you, but otherwise, you know, people know that first 1 hour they do time pass before the match starts. But there is, you know, good traffic pre-match also. Stuart Binney. If ever there is a biopic, see, we have biopic on MS Dhoni, we have biopic on Sachin, we have biopic on Azhar, we have biopic on Milka Singh. If there is ever a biopic on Stuart Binney, bro, the best actor too. No other actor can be better than Abhishek Bachchan because famous because of father and wife and all this is relatable. Abhishek Bachchan once upon a time was caught having 2 permanent account numbers. For all these, it's a clear-cut violation. You can't have 2 PAN in your name. All these violations, there will be a penalty of rupees 10,000 per default. So you have to apply for PAN and quote them in high value financial transaction. If you do any PAN related violation, you will be liable for, you will have to pay a penalty of rupees 10,000 per default. Do you understand the requirement and the applicability of PAN, everyone? 100%. Now, recently, our government, last few years, post digitalization, post everything being linked with Aadhaar, our government slowly and gradually wants to discontinue the need for PAN. Our government says that unique ID means unique ID. You know, if we talk about BJP philosophy and Congress philosophy, believe me, we are not here to have political discussions. We are not here to take favors. It's a democracy. You have the full right to take whomsoever's favor you want. Ultimately, we all know aayega to Modi, but you have the right to take whomsoever ka favor you want to. When Congress introduced Aadhaar, Modi ji opposed it. Bola nonsense hai ye. And when he came to power, he made Aadhaar very famous. He brought, for everything he brought Aadhaar. So a very, very rightful opposition by Congress was that Modi ji, when you were in opposition, you were saying Aadhaar is bad, this, that. They started floating his old videos that Aadhaar cannot be successful in our country. Partly cut videos. His full statement was, unless and until we have digitalization and internet connectivity, which can link Aadhaar to everything, every record of yours, unless Aadhaar is unique, it will be of no use. Congress के time पे you had to take Aadhaar. My Aadhaar card was made before 2000. In 2012 or 13 I had taken my Aadhaar card. After having Aadhaar card also, it was compulsory to have separate PAN card, voter ID, passport. If I had to go for passport, I had to give all my documents, my PAN card, my voter ID, my house telephone bill, electricity bill, my 10th standard certificate, my 12th standard certificate, everything has to be given despite having Aadhaar card. Then Modi ji said, what's the point when you have to give everything only? Then what do you mean by unique ID? Aadhaar is UID, no? I will bring internet technology, I will make internet cheaper, I will make internet accessible, I will keep all the records digitalized, everything will be linked with Aadhaar. Your mobile connections, your bank accounts, your PAN card, everything, every financial transaction that you do, it will have some link with your Aadhaar, so that we don't need any other ID except for foreign travel. Passport is required because it's a global system. In fact, for passport also, you give only Aadhaar, we will not ask for any other document. With your Aadhaar, believe me, unless and until there is some problem with your records or something, with your Aadhaar, you can go and make passport without any document. It's the kind of culture they did bring. So Modi ji basically wanted to get rid of what? Multiple documents. And Modi ji said that enough now, everybody is applying for, see, we make an application for PAN under this section, so we have to submit a form. Then they will scrutinize the form. They will decide whether PAN has to be allocated or no. Don't do all that. Don't do all that. Now what we will do is, we will divide taxpayers into two categories. Someone who does not have PAN but has Aadhaar, and someone who has PAN and Aadhaar both. You have PAN and Aadhaar both, or you have only Aadhaar, you don't have PAN. So do you realize when we are splitting you also, the common thing is it is taken for granted that you have Aadhaar. You have Aadhaar with PAN or without PAN, with PAN or without PAN, but you have Aadhaar. If you don't have Aadhaar, you don't exist. Anybody here who does not have Aadhaar card? You don't exist only. It is only the classroom benches which don't have Aadhaar. You never know, very soon he may introduce Aadhaar card for animals also. Nee, this is not funny. In Gujarat, Rajasthan, every cow has been given a registration number. That number is attached to their ears or to their body. It is around their neck. Their registration details. How many cows in the country? How much livestock we have? Government has record of all that. Unless you are a non-living thing like a bench in the classroom or a projector in the classroom, everyone has Aadhaar card. So you have Aadhaar. Now you tell us, you have PAN or you don't have PAN. You don't have PAN? No problem. No need to apply for PAN. Earlier we were forcing you to apply for PAN. Now don't apply. Do one thing. Are you doing high value financial transaction? Earlier what were you doing? Quoting your PAN. You don't have PAN, no? No problem. Give us your Aadhaar and our system will auto allocate PAN to you. No need to make any application. You just tell us that you don't have PAN and therefore this is my Aadhaar number. Our system will link a PAN with your Aadhaar number. We are doing away with the need for making PAN applications. No need to do that. Just quote your Aadhaar. And supposingly you already have PAN. A problem is that PAN you must have taken at some point of time in some procedure. Filled a form with income tax department, they allocated PAN after examination of your document, you have PAN. Later government brought UID, so you went to the UID center, you gave your biometrics and you have taken Aadhaar. On different days, different years, different documentation, you have taken PAN and Aadhaar. Somewhere we need to bring them together under one platform. So we request you to do what? Link your PAN and Aadhaar under the very next section, 139 double. See, PAN was 139 single. Link your PAN and Aadhaar under the very next section. For this, they brought a facility on income tax website. You have to enter your name as per PAN, enter your name as per Aadhaar, enter your Aadhaar number and submit button. The moment you do submit button, you will get OTP on mobile number registered with UID because every Aadhaar card is linked with mobile number. If you enter that OTP, it means that your PAN and Aadhaar is linked. And now do what? Once again, quote your Aadhaar, because we already know your PAN. So just quote your Aadhaar. Is that clear, everyone? And here, sir, why are they not asking me to link here? Because you don't have PAN, and when we will allocate, we will link and allocate. Effectively, from today, you can use PAN and Aadhaar interchangeably. If you have already linked, just quote your Aadhaar. They already know your PAN. Either they have allocated or you have linked. If you already have PAN and Aadhaar, you have to link. Otherwise, the next section 139 AA will come with some consequences. You understood or no, everyone? So if you don't have PAN, don't apply. We will link and give you. And if you have PAN, then you link both of them. And from now onwards, instead of doing quote your PAN, now you can do what? Quote your Aadhaar. Everyone is clear? Link PAN and Aadhaar as per which section? Very next section, that is 139 AA. So ladies and gentlemen, let's do this section, then we'll take the break. 139 AA. What is this section asking you to do? Link your PAN and Aadhaar in a notified manner. So Jetli ji was very smart. See, there is one big difference in the approach of Jetli ji and Aunty. When Jetli ji wanted to bring some law, he used to only write what I want from you. Link PAN and Aadhaar. I want that. Sir, how to do it? On the website, you will be getting the link that we will release announcement of procedure later. We will not clutter the Income Tax Act with everything. And Aunty writes everything in the Act itself. So Jetli ji said CBDT will make an announcement of the procedure, but this is mandatory in a notified manner, which I already explained. On Income Tax website, you have to enter your name as per PAN, name as per Aadhaar, Aadhaar number, submit button, OTP. That's the manner. Up to a notified date, that you have to do this linking up to this date. It was supposed to be 2018. It was continuously extended 19, 20, then COVID 21. By the time I was teaching during that phase, between 18 and 22, I was teaching students. And by the end, we got a feeling that this date that they are giving here, they did not write the date in the Act. Jetli ji said, when CBDT will be ready with the website, they will announce the date. But every time CBDT announced a date, people objected, sir, we are not ready. And they kept on extending. After a point, I started telling CA students, all my students, during that period of 4 or 5 years, that by the time your children come and study for CA final, I am only going to teach them tax. Your children also. By that time, maybe the date will become final. As of now, we don't see any date in the future because they are continuously extending. After extension, finally one day, they got sick and tired and they decided that this date is going to be 31st March 22. After this date, they did not grant any extension. So PAN and Aadhaar has to be linked up to 31st March 22. If there is failure, so you will be having fees. Fees means, like, can I say, you will have to pay a certain amount of penalty fees under section 234H. So F was late filing of return and H is late linking of PAN and Aadhaar up to 30th June 22. That means, can I say, the delay is 3 months? You understand that your fees will be 500 rupees, and beyond 30th June 22, your fees will be 1000 rupees. If your delay is up to 3 months, then we will apply fees of 500 rupees. If your delay is beyond 3 months, then we will apply fees of 1000 rupees. Can you still pay fees and link within 3 months or beyond 3 months, 500 or 1000? But from 1st July 23, so do you realize the delay has now become 1 year and 3 months? Your PAN will become inoperative. Means now you can't use the PAN for opening bank account. Now you can't use the bank for doing demat account transactions. Now you can't use the PAN for filing your income tax return. Now you can't use the PAN for purchase of property. You can't use this PAN in any high value transaction if you don't link your PAN with Aadhaar. Otherwise, people will not link only, the whole procedure will become this. There has to be some punishment. Any PAN that was not linked till 1st July 23 is something that can't be used only in any transaction. So, of course, most people have already linked. See, up to 31st March without fees. After 31st March with 500 or 1000 rupees fees. But after 1st July 23, if you are still not linked, that means you can't use your PAN. Now, supposingly you want to do any transaction, so you will need your PAN. So, no problem. Now also, we give you an option. Link with fees of rupees 1000 and make your PAN. So we are being very clear. After this date also, you can reactivate your PAN by paying that fees which we have decided, 1000. There you may not find anybody who has not yet linked. In case not yet linked, pay 1000, link, and your PAN will be revived, reactivated, made operative again. Make sense? So what is the fees and what is the time limit that they kept? So that now every PAN and Aadhaar is linked and we can make you do high value transactions only by quoting your Aadhaar. No need to quote your PAN. Everyone is clear on this? Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this PAN and Aadhaar linking is not applicable to the following people. This is very important. And by the way, I must tell you, when this was, finally the date after which extension is not being given, it was extended till 3-4 years continuously. But finally it was not extended. 31st March 22 became the last date. November 22 CA inter exam. November 22 CA inter exam. In my humble opinion, it is the toughest CA inter tax paper that I have seen over the years. If you can clear that exam, that means you can clear any CA inter. It was out of the box paper. Anything that you don't expect was asked. Don't now Google this paper and try to solve it, because a lot of law has changed since. All questions of that exam also are in our additional question bank with answers modified as per today. So don't try to be over smart. So shall I solve these question papers and all those past RTPs? People solve the book that I have given you, and what is your condition in that book, you and me both are aware by. So first complete that book. After you complete my additional question bank, full question bank with MCQs, see if you are left with any time. You won't need to solve RTPs. I have covered all the RTPs with modified answers. I have covered everything so that you don't have to do here and there only for question answer. But yes, solving is your responsibility. So November 22, they asked this penalty. 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, because it was a fresh amendment at that time. Now, for an out of the box question like this, you have to be careful. Any person who is from the states of Assam, Meghalaya, and Jammu Kashmir, which is not a state anymore, divided into union territories, but there is promise that we will restore its status as a state. We'll have to wait and watch. PAN Aadhaar linking not applicable. Actually, these are border states, and there are a lot of illegal immigrants already who have already taken Aadhaar. So they link PAN and Aadhaar is of no use. We need to first check whether their Aadhaar is also correct or not. And in this, surprisingly, they have not written West Bengal. Huge surprise, I must tell you. Actually, illegal immigrants in our country, maybe the thing is that everywhere else they will just examine and verify your Aadhaars and check your paper and all. In West Bengal, they already know no point, because it is my father-in-law tells me, Calcutta has Indians, outside Calcutta, full West Bengal. Wherever you go, over 90% population are, they are all illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. Illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. And a lot of them, after that illegal immigration, have actually traveled to across the country. In Mumbai, you will find a lot of Bangladeshis. I'll not name the areas, otherwise here geographical controversy will take place. But off the record, I can actually tell you that this area you will find maximum Bangladeshis. And how to identify? You can also identify. If you find the following conditions in any particular person you are talking to, take it for granted it's an illegally entered Bangladeshi. You may have interacted with some of them, but you are not probably aware. So surprisingly, they have not considered West Bengal here, but people of these states, we are not recognizing their Aadhaar only as of any person who is of 60 years and above, any person who is of 80 years and above, that is super senior citizen, no need to apply for PAN, no need to link your PAN and Aadhaar. They may not have Aadhaar. For example, my mom's mom, Nani, I took her to multiple Aadhaar enrollment centers. She had lost all fingerprints. She did not have one eye for the last 40 years. Only that other eye, the retina was so weak it could not be captured. Multiple places I took her, all Aadhaar centers and senior citizens, so they did not make us wait in queue also. Direct entry they gave. But after trying hard, this like, sir, the biometrics are not coming only. What to do? She didn't have Aadhaar. Even at the time of her death, in the municipal corporation, for performing the for cremation, you have to give ID proof of the deceased. We gave her voter ID. She did not have only Aadhaar. At this age, you lose your biometrics. So if you don't have only Aadhaar, how will you link? Any person who is non-resident, for them PAN is only not compulsory. Where is the question of linking? Any person who is non-citizen, you want to guess why linking is not compulsory for them? No, non-citizen can't have Aadhaar. Common sense. Believe me, students in a lot of batches spend a few minutes thinking. Believe me. So for some of the things you are so fast, and then for certain other things, no, you ruin your own reputation. You are aware of this. I have shown you the mirror multiple times. You guys are that way, having immense potential and capability with your instant answer because common sense. But many a times, the things you speak, the kind of answers you give, you basically nullify all the good things that you have done. So it is no profit, no loss by the end. Break even point. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, these people, linking is not compulsory. That's your combo of PAN and Aadhaar. Everyone is clear on this? Chalo, fantastic. We'll take a break of 10 minutes, continue the chapter. We are near completion of this chapter. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let's go ahead. We are done with 139 single A, 139 double A. Let's go ahead. Next, section 139B, TRP. 139B, TRP. This is not that TRP for which they run shows like Big Boss. No. This is tax return preparer. See, by now you are aware that certain assessees return filing is compulsory. But then, problem is that there will be people who have huge income, lots and lots of income, but they don't have knowledge of income tax. See, by now you have little bit knowledge of computation of total income tax liability. I have little bit knowledge of taxation. I may not be as intelligent as you people, but with the grace of God, little knowledge I also have. I may not be as bright as you. Bol yes. Bol yes. Bol. 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 Escobar. But I have some knowledge of taxation. But there will be taxpayers who don't have knowledge of taxation. And because they don't have knowledge of taxation, they are saying we will not file return. Sir, I don't know tax, so I will not file my return. Correct, no? Ignorance of law is not a bloody excuse. Otherwise, I will murder you and say I did not have idea that it is illegal. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. Return filing is compulsory. How will you file? Because you don't have knowledge. One, you approach a chartered accountant, which may turn to be a little expensive. Option two. The Papa of Income Tax Department has created a scheme for you. They will print an ad in the newspaper that the due date of return is coming. Please avoid last minute rush. Kindly file your return as early as possible. And if you have difficulty in filing return, then this is our helpline number 1800-425-3333. Call me. This is our helpline number. Call us and book a TRP. If you book that, We will send a person to your house. You give your financial data. That person will help you in filing your return. So that later on you don't say, I don't have knowledge. We are giving you a very, very cheap option. If a CA is charging 3,000 rupees, he will do it in 500. In that also, he will get only 100, 400 CBDT. That means 3,000 ka job he is doing for 100 rupees. Still, people don't call him. Because the moment someone is at our doorstep and says, I have come from income tax department, he won't come and say that I am Lallu Pallu, TRP, that nobody respects me. He will come and say, what? He's trained that way. I have come from income tax department to help you file your return of income. But the moment he says, I have come from income tax department, water will start flowing from all parts of your body in the form of sweat. Sweat. And plus, you can't tell him, sir, do one thing. Your cash sales don't record. Sir, undervalue the stock, no closing stock. You can't tell him to do the planning. You understand? People still avoid, but CBDT wants to play safe. So that later on you don't blame them for your lack of knowledge. They say we have created a scheme. You can call our person to help you file return of income. So the question is, who can call TRP? All assessee can call TRP except the following. 1. A company is not allowed to call TRP. Any person who is covered under tax audit is not allowed to call TRP. They don't need TRP. Company has stat audit and 44AB is tax audit. Both of them have access to a chartered accountant. When a chartered accountant is given audit assignment, that's a very, very remunerative assignment. In that, return filing does not take a lot of time. Return filing is so easy these days. Softwares are filing it for 299, bloody hell, 99 rupees. You can't even compete with them. So CA will do that return as complimentary only in the package, just like doctors make package. They don't need TRP. They already have a chartered accountant because they are covered under some kind of audit. Otherwise, everybody else can call. And now, one practical effect of this, you will get to know that CBDT prints newspaper advertisement only in July month. It does not print those ads in October or November. You know why? Because observe carefully. Assessees of October, November can't call only TR. Check. Only those who are July cases will be calling. Those who are covered under audit are not calling only TR. Do you observe? Next question is, who can become TR? Sir, everyone can become. But the following people are not allowed to become. You can become, anyone can become. Following people not allowed. 1. A chartered accountant is not allowed to become TR. 2. A liar is not allowed to become TR. 3. An officer of bank in which you have the assessee's account, not allowed to become TR. When I was in school, I was taught a story, Fox and the Grapes. You have studied that story, Fox and the Grapes? That fox wants the grape, then he jumps, finally he does not get the grapes. What does he say? The grapes are sour. And he goes away. Human nature is when you don't get something, you criticize. Human nature. It is like me saying, Deepika ji, I don't want to date you. I don't like you. Listen, the ones you are saying, no, CA, you disqualified. CA is like, hey, you take 500 rupees. In that, you give him only 100 rupees. For the same thing, I charge 3,000 rupees. You are disqualifying me, bro. I am not even interested. They have disqualified the ones who are not going to become liars. Liars are of two types. See, they can be below the CA also. There are some lawyers who don't have offices. They sit with an umbrella outside the court. When they close the umbrella, office is shut down. And then there are some lawyers in our country of the category of Ram Jethmalani, Kapil Sibal, Arun Jaitley, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Subramaniam Swamy, Harish Salve. These lawyers are the ones who take 50 lakh rupees for one hearing. Some of the country's biggest lawyers. That way, some lawyers will be below CA, some lawyers will be above CA. But there is one thing in which lawyers have an upper hand. that when it comes to fighting of case, CA can fight in front of the appellate hierarchy. There are special courts, tribunals, income tax tribunal, company law tribunal. CA can fight a case. CA can fight a case against all these in all these courts. But when the matter goes in High Court or Supreme Court, then the CA will have to appoint a lawyer. You'll see a lot of chartered accountants having LLPs with lawyers in their firms, because your tax ka matter will be fought by the CA only, your CA whom you trust. But for stamp, he will need one lawyer, especially when the case goes to High Court or Supreme Court. So some lawyers have really high relevance compared to chartered accountants also. But provided you reach that category, that matter every profession, whether you become a doctor, chartered accountant, whether you become a teacher, whether you become a cricketer, whether you become a film star, whether you become a businessman, in every business, in every profession, you will have some people who are immensely successful, some people who are always struggling, and generally the factor is not only being good in your business or profession. The factor may not always be whether you are good or bad. The factor may be sometimes luck also, sometimes what do you call it, karma. There may be various reasons behind success and failure, but every profession, everyone does not have same success. The people whom we are disallowing here are basically those people who were never interested to become. Everybody else, BCom graduate, allowed to become. CA interclear student, allowed to become, because basic knowledge of taxation, all of them do have. You are graduate, so you have basic knowledge of taxation before we started, correct? Huh? Kya? Huh. Thank you for being honest. Because being dishonest was not even an option. Everyone understood? As we already discussed, the whole scheme is being run by CBDT. So basically, what is going to be the qualification of TRP? What is going to be the disqualification of TRP? How the appointment of TRP will take place? If at all somebody is unfit for the job, so how we will remove them from the job? What is going to be code of conduct? Do you realize CBDT is sending someone to your house under their banner that I have come from CBDT? Just imagine that guy comes to your house and says, "My bhook laga, please can you give me something to eat? I am very hungry. My bhook laga." He is coming and asking for food. You want what? He is coming and asking for drugs. They have to be well behaved, no? He has spoiled your toilet seat. You didn't hear? अभी क्या बोला मैं? नहीं सुना ना? अच्छा हो. It was not about you. अरे that will result in disreputation for you. You know it will bring bad reputation for the CBDT. They have to be very clear about the code of conduct. What is going to be the remuneration of the TRP? Everything here is going to be decided by the whole scheme is a brainchild of, is a functionality of the CBDT. Everyone is understanding what is happening here? Pakka 100%. Hello, fantastic. That was your TRP. Section 139C is talking about annexureless ROI. This, I will have to tell you some history, because this is something that happened in the assessment year 7-8, previous year 6-7, assessment year 7-8, 2006-2007. And bro, at least as far as the foundation students are concerned, you were not there, or you were there 2006-7, so you just made it. And the graduates who are trying to be smart, no, so I was there. So how much were you there is also a question. Assessment year 7-8 happens to be a historic year for income tax law, because this is the year when they started something called e-filing of income tax return. Before this year, income tax returns used to be filled manually. We used to fill 2 copies, take them, on one we used to get the stamp and come back. On the due date, there used to be a massive queue outside the income tax office, which is going to close down at 6 o'clock. We used to hire extra staff only for standing in the queue. One staff used to hand over a bag filled with returns and come back to office to take another bag. The staff who was standing in the queue, if the number has come, submit all the returns and then rejoin the queue. At 6 o'clock when the office used to shut down, then our bosses used to use their contacts for the backdoor entry because we wanted stamp of the same date for 139.1. Otherwise, it would have been considered as belated. And we had done all the work on the last day. 2007, I belong to a historic generation. People before me have only seen paper filing. People after me have only seen e-filing. 2007 was the middle year of my articleship. I was in the middle of my articleship. So I did 1 year paper filing and then e-filing. When e-filing came, it was a new software. We had only one office computer with internet. All office computers did not have internet connectivity. We are talking about those days, bro. This is the pre-Geo era. So that one computer and internet. I was the first person who was making one small return. The return was fully ready. Now we wanted to try submission of online return. I went and used that computer. I successfully filed, generated an acknowledgement and showed it to the main owner of the post. So I had one immediate senior who was also working under the main owner, the person who started the firm. Both of them were very impressed. Bola, e-filing, this guy is the first boy who did it. Then there was an instruction announcement in the office that once your returns are ready, don't bother to come and now learn how to do e-filing. He has done it successfully. He knows the process. You prepare your return and give the data to him. Filing part he will do. You carry on with the next return. Because first we had to prepare our data, then we had to do the submission part. First day only everyone is preparing the return and giving it to me. And I am doing filing, one after the other, generating the acknowledgements. I was the first person who immediately got so much experience. And after that, we have always done e-filing. We no longer stand in queues, long queues in front of the income tax office on the due date. But the before and after part, there was a difference. In the before part, income tax return used to be one single side, not even a page, not even two sides. One single side. Name of the assessee, previous year, assessment year, PAN. GTI direct. GTI deductions and TTI. Basic tax, there was no rebate those days. So surcharge says total tax, TDS, advance tax, etc. Total prepaid, final amount payable or refundable. That's it. And a place to sign. Only one side. It starts with GTI. How do you know the breakup? In Excel, Microsoft Excel, we used to compute income from salary, house profit, GBP. That used to be called our computation. We had to take printout of the computation. Printout of balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement, tax audit report. Print everything. And with that one page return, staple that thick bunch of papers. And we used to take two printouts because one we had to stamp and bring back. We used to prepare that full set of return. So there was a team who is only handling the printing. Just imagine the amount of time, energy and paper wasted. Return is ready, but print ke liye you have to format that sheet because sometimes that printer used to cut the portion of the data, etc. It is very difficult if you are not comfortable with the printing part also. All this you will be taught in your IT training before your articleship starts. How to handle Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, because all this you will need in your CFO. We had to submit that big bunch of documents. And those days, if any of the documents were missing, so we used to get defective return notice. Now, government said we want to bring e-filing, there won't be any paper, everything will happen online. If you want to do online, so return will capture basic data. You will submit that data. What about balance sheet? What about profit and loss account? What about tax audit report? I can't put it in my CPU now. How will I submit that? That is where they introduced 139C and said no need to submit any hard copy. No need to submit any hard copy. Annexure-less ROI. Just online submit your return. If we need anything, balance sheet, profit and loss account, tax audit report, cash flow, we used to have hard copy of life insurance and medical insurance premium receipts. Only if we have stapled those receipts, we will get deduction. Without receipt, the officer was denying the deduction. These days, we don't have to do that. I pay premium to life insurance, medical insurance company. They submit data to the income tax department. And when I am online filing my return, my 80C, 80D is already entered because income tax department has received information from insurance companies in digital records. Life has become very, very easy for a practicing chartered accountant. Most of the data is already available with them. And there is a button called pre-fill. If you click that button, your other information available with income tax department will be automatically entered. We don't even have to manually enter it. because of cross-linking of data. Things have become really very, very easy since they introduced e-filing. And because we have e-filing, so you don't need to attach any data. If we need, we will call for it. That is called annexure-less ROI, introduced from the year of e-filing. ये clear है? Section 139D is one more time very powerful body, again becoming more powerful. Powers of CBDT to make rules of e-filing of ROI, forms, etc. Again, this will be useful for you in CA final and practical life in office. No relevance at inter-level exam. The rule is income tax return can be filed online. It can be filed physically. People don't do, that's a different thing. Or you have both options, your choice. What will happen only online? What will happen only offline? And what we will give you both options. Who will decide? Every decision will be taken by CBDT. What will happen online, offline, or both options? CBDT will decide. If you want to register a charitable trust, you can make physical application, online application, or both. Every interaction that we have with income tax department, the three options are only online, only offline, or both. CBDT decide. Today only we spoke about CBDT granting condonation. If I have missed my due date, I have to apply that please give me extension for belated return, for revised return, for all those concepts. That means we have to make an application to CBDT. How we will do it? I told you we can make it online. We can make it offline. See, we find online convenient, but we have both options. Who decides all this? All this will be decided by what will happen online, offline, or what will happen. For example, PAN and Aadhaar to be linked. Offline was never an option. You have to go to the website and do it on the website itself. So the options will be decided by CBDT. Is that clear? Next, section 140 is talking about sign, but some years ago the word sign was removed and they brought the word verify. Just filing your return is not enough. You have to authenticate your return. How will you authenticate? Once upon a time you had the option, you have acknowledgement of return filing, sign that acknowledgement and send it to income tax office. You can do something called digital signature also if you don't want hard copy. We have a concept of DSC, digital signature. But now they have removed all those requirements. They say you submit the return online, then we will send OTP on your registered mobile number. It can be mobile number registered with income tax department, or it can be mobile number registered with Aadhaar, or generally it is possible that both numbers are same only, same mobile number you registered at both places. We will send you one-time password, enter that one-time password, and it will be considered that you have knowledge of your return. It will be considered that you have authenticated your return. It will be considered that you have filed your return voluntarily. Without signature also, authentication can be done, and thus we have removed the word sign and introduced the word verify. This happened about 5-6 years ago. 6-7 years ago. How does it matter? You can now verify your return even without signature. Make sense? Next, section 140A, the most important duty of the assessee. Remember, return filing chapter at intermediate is only assessee duties. There are duties of the officer also, but they are in CA final. Pay क्या? Income नहीं. Pay tax. Assessee's most important duty is pay your. No. We are making you pay something called self-assessment tax. Please understand this. What is self-assessment tax? You have computed your own income and your own tax and you are filing a return. This tax is correct or no? There is an officer who will check. He may deny some deductions to you because he is not convinced about your claims. He may increase your tax. Again, that difference is payable or not payable. Option 1, you accept his order. or option 2, you appeal against his order. So, what will be your final tax? That officer will decide, or you can go in appeal. But is there some amount of tax which you have accepted in your return? Okay, sir, this is my income, this is my tax. Is that some amount that you have voluntarily declared and accepted? That you pay? No, that is not going to be reduced. Supposingly you say my tax is 5 lakh. Officer makes your tax 8 lakhs. That 3 lakh you can accept and pay. Or you can appeal and not pay. But 5 lakh so you have accepted? No. That 5 lakh is assessment, but it's your self-assessment. This is tax that you have decided for yourself. And that can't be reduced. No? That so you have accepted. Higher is payable or not payable. Officer will decide, appeal people will decide. But this you have to pay. This you will have to pay. You got to understand this, okay? Tax payments that we make to income tax department can be categorized into 2 types. One, your tax is paid by third parties. Why? Because in your payment they have reduced. We call it TDS. Or sometimes we also have something called TCS. When you buy something, you pay extra tax. And that you can later get as credit. Somewhat similar to your GST. You can later adjust it. So you pay advance income tax. We'll talk about it. This is our last chapter, TDS, TCS. But sometimes you yourself make payment. You yourself make payment of 2 types. You will be making a payment called advance tax. And you will be making another payment called self-assessment tax. Everyone focus, because I see a lot of students, even at CA final, we are not able to distinguish between advance tax and self-assessment tax. Everyone pay attention. TDS, TCS, so I am not going and saying, officer, take my tax, later give me credit. In TDS, TCS, what happens? While receiving only, I have received less, and that third party will make the tax reach the government, income tax department, and end of the year, I can get that money back as credit against my liability to adjust my payable amount. But sometimes I have to go and say, hey, officer, take money. And what are those sometimes? 2 occasions, advance tax and self-assessment. Any tax that I pay during the previous year. Now, please understand why we call it advance tax. This is my previous year. And this is my assessment year. If I am making any tax payment here, do I even know what is going to be my final income and final tax? That I will come to know only here? No. That is why we say earn income in previous year and calculate and pay in the assessment year. So during the previous year, I don't know. It is just an ad hoc advance payment. Once PY will get over, we will be in AY. We will calculate our total income. We will calculate our total tax based on the income earned here. Correct? Correct? This is the day when I can say that I know my tax liability. Obviously, have I already paid something? So I will adjust that because that is my prepaid tax. Supposingly, here I find out in my assessment year my tax is 7 lakh rupees. During the previous year, I have paid advance tax of 5 lakh rupees. That means I will now pay 2 lakh rupees, and that 2 lakh rupees, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be my self-assessment tax. Anything that I pay after the previous year will be called self-assessment tax. Anything that I pay during the previous year will be called. It is like an advance. We don't know the final amount. Of course, when we know the final amount, the advance will be adjusted. You must have paid some advance to enroll for the class. So when finally you paid your balance fees, you paid only balance. No, you did not pay total. We will adjust your advance. But on this date, we don't know your final answer. And on this date, we know. Therefore, we are calling it assessment, but self-assessment. Because officer is yet to come and decide. So when you are paying during the previous year, are you aware of your final liability? During the previous year, are you aware of your final liability? No. So we only call it advance. But when you pay in the assessment year, are you aware of, listen to my question, are you aware of your final liability as per yourself? And therefore we call it self-assessment tax. Advance tax is the very next chapter. This chapter has asset tax. Name of next chapter is advance tax. But I still want to talk a little about it. In any case, if not today, then tomorrow I have to do that. During the financial year, there are 4 due dates of making payment of advance tax. First due date comes on 15th of June. So please understand, previous year starts on 1st April. Only after 2.5 months, you will have to make one installment payment. Advance. Do you have any idea of what your ultimate total income or tax will be? No, we just make a random payment. Then 15th September, again there is a due date to pay advance tax. Still half year is also not over. Means every quarter getting over, just before the quarter, 15 days before the quarter end, you have to make one installment payment. June quarter, 15 June. September quarter, 15 September. You want to guess what will be the next due date? 15th of 16th कौन था? वो late हो. I was born on advance tax due date. I was born to teach tax. अच्छा इसके लिए you had gone to Gao in the early वाला lecture because your birthday was there. Because I remember I started your batch on 17th December. So 15th my birthday, इसलिए I was holiday. I was on holiday. Then 16th your birthday, so you were on holiday. क्या ये? 15th of December, advance tax due date. One more thing, I don't know whether I ever told you this also or no. Now, so we make e-payment, online payments, and some banks work 24/7, you can make payments. But some banks allow online payments also during banking hours. Post banking hours, you can't make online payments. And earlier, when we had to go to the bank and make payment, so if the due date is coming on a public holiday, so we can't make payment, no, because bank is closed. Whichever due date comes on a public holiday, payment due date, then you have to take 1 day prior. So if 15th December is a public holiday, what will be your due date? 14th. वो I got married on that day. Due date maintain रहना चाहिए. Supposingly 14th is also public holiday तो 13th, that is ma'am's birthday. Planning देख रहे हो? मारवाड़ी planning. People have birthdays, we have festival. When I saw her biodata, chartered accountant, birthday 13th December. I said, if I will say yes to this girl, I will get married on 14th. So that one expenditure, 3 events taken care of. And then I, thought that the 4th date that we will have some years after marriage, let's try to keep it 12th or 16th, only to realize that you can't use CA related calculations. In every aspect of life, certain things happen when they have to happen. Such calculations don't work always and everywhere. But yes, I'm very, very perfect when it comes to these kind of plannings. Also, I have multiple times told you that you guys have a lot to learn from me. Other than tax, also, I get paid only for tax, and that is also this you will never forget. Even if you forget all sections, this you will not forget. Last due date, 15th of March. Do you realize that while these due dates are going on, the financial year is not over, so I am not aware of what my total income will be. I am only making random payments. These are just advance payments. When the year will get over, I will actually compute my total income and tax, and that is why I call it assessment year. Of course, I will take credit of already paid advance tax, and the balance amount which I pay now will be considered as self, and it is self only. No officer will decide finally. So any tax paid during the previous year, advance tax. That is the next chapter. But this tax is basically once your previous year gets over and there is still some payable as per you, then make that payment. If previous year is over and there is still some payable, then you please make that payment. Everyone is clear? So while this aspect all students understand, there is one catch here. The last due date of advance tax is 15th March. But definition of advance tax is not 15th March. Definition is any tax paid during the previous year, which means this is one mistake which I have seen a lot of students make. I want to be very, very clear. What is advance tax ka definition? Paid in PY. Paid in PY. And PY gets over when? So I'll tell you one thing very clearly. Supposingly I have made any advance tax payment in this period. Do you understand this period is 16 to 31st? Have I missed 15th March? Everyone. Will I be liable for interest? Yes, yes, yes. But it will still be considered as advance tax. Anything that I pay here on 1st April will be considered as self-assessment. For missing my installment, maximum I will pay is interest, but I have still paid advance tax. I am not advance tax defaulter. Correct, hai? Correct, hai? But if I don't pay till 31st, I will be considered as advance tax defaulter. Due date you miss, there will only be interest, but you can pay advance tax till 31st of March. So till previous year 31st March, we will define it as advanced tax. Only in the assessment year it will be called as self-assessment tax. That also self-assessment officer will decide. It is your very, very important duty. After the year gets over, everyone pay attention. Calculate your total income. Calculate your total tax. As per you, take credit of advanced tax because that you have already paid. Take credit of bloody hell, there may be any TDS also other people have deducted. See, whatever is paid, you don't have to pay that again. Take credit of all those things and make the final payment, which is final as per your calculation. And this payment has to be made with interest and fees. Is it possible that you did not pay your advance tax on time during the year? So while paying your self-assessment tax, also add interest. Is it possible that you filed your return on you did not file your return on time, or you did not link your PAN and Aadhaar on time? So whatever fees is applicable, pay that also when you are paying your self-assessment tax. So any tax paid during the previous year, advance tax till 31st month. Any tax paid in the assessment year, which is as per your calculation, final self-assessment tax. And because it is final, also add the interest and fees. Is that clear? Now, I must tell you, practically what happens, that somewhere here your due date comes. So then, most taxpayers do not make any payment once 1st April starts. They are like, okay, once we will sit down for filing of return, that day only we will do our calculations. That day only we will calculate income and tax. That day only we will find out total tax minus advance tax and TDS equal to the final amount payable plus interest plus fees. So people actually make payment on due date only. So one wrong thing that is saved in the minds of students. What is self-assessment tax? Tax paid at the time of return filing. No! People do that for practical convenience. But once AY starts, 1st April or 1st May or 1st June or 1st July, return you may file now, late or not file. Once 1st April of AY starts, it is SA tax. It is not going to be advance. Advance is over on 31st March, and after this date, it will be self-assessment tax. Everyone is clear? 140A. 2 years ago, this was the last section and we used to declare return filing over. One day, suddenly, auntie, my patience is waning. Is this entertaining? I got this feeling that cause I'm losing all control. Auntie introduces a concept called updated ROI. See, this is a subsection of 139. So one thing you all understand, it is related to return filing, because 139, 1, 3, 4, 5 was all that: return, belated, updated, blah, 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 all that. Correct or no? Hello. So now we have something called updated ROI. Auntie said what? Listen, this is your PY. Okay. This is your AY. Here, this due date is your 139 due date. And if you miss this due date, so you come to December, do you understand this December is your 139.4 as well as 139.5 due date, with whatever we have studied and in today's lecture only. December. Everyone has to agree first to this, that after this 31st December goes, if I have not filed my return till now I can't file belated. And if I have filed return, now I can't change it, because this December happens to be last date for belated as well as revised. So my question to you is, after this date, at any time in future, someone who has not filed return wants to file, do we have any facility till now? No. After December, CBDT don't count, because CBDT does not come in day-to-day life. There has to be exceptional circumstances. And can I change my return by revise? No. Auntie now comes and says, I am giving you 24 months after AY. Please pay attention. Is this end of your AY? Is this end of your AY? From here, if I do plus 12, that means can I say this is 12 months after AY? And I do further plus 12, that means can I say this is 24 months after your AY? Do you agree? Do you agree that first 1 year is 12 months after AY and second 1 year is 24 months after AY? Everyone agrees with this. Auntie is saying, I am giving you extra time. 24 months after AY. Listen, effective extra time is 27 months. First be clear about it. Why, sir? because this timing is 3 months before AY. So we have 3 months here, we have 12 months here, and we have 12 months here. 3 months before AY is becoming 24 months after AY. So total extra time granted by auntie is 27 months. Everyone agrees? Auntie says any person who has not filed ROI till now, earlier used to file belated, but last date was December, or any person who has filed ROI till now, earlier wanted to change it by revise the last date again, December. So both of them were separate subsections. Now both of them, the one who has not filed ROI or the one who has filed ROI, both of them after December, you can't do anything. Now I am giving you extra 27. You understood? 27 now. After AY 24. So total can file something called updated ROI up to 24 months after the assessment year. 3 months before is 139, 4 and 5. But 24 months after. So total extra 27 months. 27 months extra. 24 months after AY. I can allow you to file updated. Updated will be of two types. Those who have not filed ROI earlier, are we allowing updated? That means this updated will serve as your extended belated. And those who have filed return earlier, they wanted to revise, but then they are not allowed after December. This updated will serve as your extended revise. That means in effect, can we simply say 139 subsection 8A is extending your time limit of belated and revise by jointly bringing a concept called updated ROI. You are understanding this? First reaction is, Arey auntie, why don't you amend these time limits only? Why don't you make 139, 4 and 5 ka time limit, which is 3 months before AY, make it 24 months after AY. It will be taken care of. But she is auntie. She is auntie. Till now, what were you thinking? Wow, such a nice lady. She is giving me extra 27 months. Is she a nice lady? She is giving you extra 27 months. Bro, listen. Bro, listen. Under section 139(8)(a), you cannot declare a loss. Listen, somebody who has not filed return earlier can file something called belated till December. In belated, of course, 5 loss is not allowed, but house property UAD, so I am still allowed. Can I show house property and UAD loss in belated return? House property UAD, 5 loss is not allowed, but house property UAD allowed. Now we are giving you extra 27 months, but that house property UAD, you can't show in this. You are not allowed to show loss. Means we are allowing you to file only if you are showing profit. And let's talk about the other guy. The other guy is who? Somebody who has filed earlier. Filed earlier. That means must have shown something in the form of income or tax or whatever. You are not allowed to reduce your income or tax compared to your previous ROI. Okay, wait. Supposingly I filed return. After filing return, I notice mistake. Till December, can I revise? In revised return, can I reduce income? Yes. Yes. Now I am giving you extra 27 months. But you can't reduce. Abhi, use your brain. You are not allowed to reduce. So you have common sense. You are not filing the same amount per return, but changing genders. Reduction is not allowed. Same you are not going to do. Which means if you have not clearly understood that I am granting you this facility only and only and only if you have something extra to declare, which means only and only if you are ready to pay some extra tax. Belated allowed me to show losses, house property and UAD. This won't allow loss. Hey, pagal, if it is not allowing loss, so 0, 0, nobody is filing. That means you have to declare income and pay tax. And revised allowed me to reduce. They are not allowing to reduce. That means one thing is clear. Updated ROI can be filed by someone who has earlier filed ROI or not filed ROI. Check. Updated can be filed by somebody who has filed ROI or not filed. Both. Those who have not filed ROI, is this your first return? You have to show income and tax. You can't show loss. And those who have filed ROI want to now revise. In updated, in revise you can reduce, but in updated you will have to only increase. That means one thing is for sure, that both these guys whom we are giving the facility of updated ROI, page is getting updated again. Both these guys whom we are giving the facility of updated ROI will have to show some extra income, some extra tax. Reduction is not allowed, bro. Reduction is not allowed. You have to increase income, you have to increase tax. To which again, and this also I make one more point clear, that updated return can be filed only once. How many times you can revise your return? Unlimited times, but updated also only once. This is not a big deal. My focus is on that extra income, extra tax part. Everyone is with me? 3 months before AY, that is till December of your AY, you have time limit of 139, 4 and 5. If you don't remember, let me keep this timeline in front of you. Correct? Eh? In this timeline, I can show loss in belated return in the sense of house property and UAD. I can reduce income and tax in revised return. Now is auntie giving me extra 27 months, provided I am willing to show extra income and extra tax. Here, declaration of loss is not allowed. Here, deduction of income and taxes not allowed. Only and only if I am willing to show extra income, extra tax, I am allowed to file updated return. Everyone is with me? Now then some people react to this by saying, sir, so what is unfair in this? See, you get less time. In less time, it is in your favor. If you want extra time of 27, you understand 27 how? In the act they have said 24, still I am saying 24 because we are counting 3 months of AY also. You want extra time? Pay extra tax, sir. What is wrong in that? Correct or no? See, is she granting me extra time? So she is expecting extra tax. I am doing something in your favor by giving you extra time. Then why do you have an objection to this point that I have to pay some extra tax? You know, auntie granting extra time then appears logical that she is taking extra tax. Bro, only an old timer will be able to tell you the secret here. The secret here. Somewhere around 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years, the time limit of, what are these two sections, 139, 4 and 5? Belated and revised. Today it is what, 3 months before AY? If I do that, I can show loss of house property UND and I can reduce income also in revised return. Somewhere 10 years ago, the time limit of 139, 4 and 5. You want to know what was that? 2 years after assessment. This was time limit of 139, 4 and 5. Only someone who has decade plus experience will tell you this. Any newcomer won't be able to tell you this. Only old timers like us are aware of this. And I only am old timer as far as my experience is concerned. Baki, otherwise somebody who will meet me will never find out. Only by meeting me. It was 2 years after AY. Believe me, today's updated return time limit was belated and revised time limit. Then Jetli ji came in a gradual and phased manner. What did he say? 2 years is too much. Why do you want so much time? You file your return within this much time. He amended it to 1 year after AY. Then Jetli ji says, digitalization, all records are easily available. Why you want so much time? He amended it to end of the assessment year or completion of assessment, whichever is earlier. It was 2 years after AY or completion of assessment. Then it became 1 year after AY or completion of assessment. Then it became end of AY or completion of assessment. Then auntie came. Auntie said, all records are clearly available. Why do you want so much time? She made it 3 months before AY. So 2 years after AY became 3 months before AY in a gradually phased manner over a few years. Every 2 years they were bringing amendment. I told you 4 amendments. 2 became 1 became end of AY became 3 months before AY. And after this gradual reduction of time limit, Suddenly one day she comes and says, you want your original time limits back? Do you? I grant you the original time limit back, provided extra income, extra tax. सही खेल गई. You understood game happened with your game. She actually restored the original time limit, but with the condition of extra income and extra tax. You understood the game played by auntie? So newcomers will not understand. Newcomers will only know that belated and revised 3 months before and updated 24 months after. Total difference of 27. And maximum logic that they can tell you is extra period, so extra tax. But and if this was not enough, I will now tell you auntie's biggest dirty game. Auntie's like, am I granting you extra time? So I'm extra time taking extra tax. That also you and me now know that she is giving me my original time. No? Correct? Now just imagine someone saying that I am granting you this extra time, which was my original time, only to pay extra tax. We are already angry. And what if I tell you that on this tax there will be penalty? So you will be further upset. पागल है क्या? So you are restoring my original time limit and still making me pay extra. You're not even allowing me to reduce. Chalo, I am still ready to pay extra tax because I am getting more time to file my return. On that extra tax, she wants penalty. If she says penalty, do you understand there will be protest against her? Lare, take extra tax, take interest also, but don't take penalty. That won't be fair, no? Auntie said, okay, I will not take penalty. Smart lady, listen everyone. You'll get to know the game. I will not take any penalty. No, dirty baat nahi. I will not take any penalty. I will take from you additional income tax. And when she wrote this word, listen. Everyone thought what? As per new concept, I have to increase income. Therefore, I have to increase tax. Additional income tax. No! That extra tax is this. On this extra tax, I have additional income tax. See, she said what? Extra time, extra income, extra tax, which also old timers know that is not fair, but newcomers will be like, sir, theek hai, extra time, extra tax. And sir, this is only that extra tax. Arey, no, this is not that extra tax. This is that extra tax. And on this extra tax, if she openly uses a word called penalty, then there will be controversy. So, just like a normal human tendency, many a times we want to say some word openly, but we can't say that word openly. So we say what? Customer. So she has called it what? This is fancy name for the word. She is levying penalty on the extra tax. Just extra tax, nahi, extra tax with penalty. Extra tax with penalty. The question is how much penalty? Up to 12 months after EY. What is the total time? 24 months, no? So first 12 months, or we can count 15 also because we have 3 months of EY also. The penalty will be 25% of your extra tax. So show extra income, show extra tax, and on that pay 25% additional income tax. One second, I'll show you the timeline. Is this the date after which your updated will start? So in this in this period it will be 25%. See, they say first 12 months, but actually this penalty will come for 15 months. Sir, why 15? 3 months of AY and 12 months after AY. First 12 months after AY, total period is 27. Out of 27, first 15 months ka penalty will be 25%. And if you file it beyond 12 months after AY, can you do after 12 months of AY also can you? Of course, but up to maximum of, you understood this or no? After 12, before 24 means this period. If you have specs, wear them. If you are wearing, not right. You don't have specs, make this shape in your head. Make and cover your eyeballs, because 50% penalty. How much, bro? 50% of the extra tax. Means you are giving me my original time limit for paying extra tax with 25% interest or 50% interest. Interest बोल रहा हूँ. They call it additional income tax. Actually, it is levy of pen. And those who feel that, sir, ठीक है ना, at least she is giving me extra time. I must tell you, auntie has been a little good to taxpayers in this budget, which is not applicable for your exam. So that way I don't want to discuss it. So you won't write it. I will also write and cancel. She has actually given 2 more years. So that is 36 and 48 months. 24 plus 24. Total of 48 months after assessment year. Means 4 years after assessment year, you can file updated return. Extra income, extra tax, additional income. Additional income tax is a percentage of extra. The first 12 months it is 25. Next 12 months it is. So obviously, if she is giving 12 plus 12 for 24 more, making the total 48, it is not going to be 25 and 50. 60%, 70%. Next year she will make it 100. I'll tell you what, if you are caught doing tax evasion, under reporting of income, that penalty is 60% of tax. What am I doing here? Filing late. If I am caught doing tax evasion, that penalty is 60%. Here what is happening? Filing my return. This is not relevant in your exam. This 2025 ka budget it is 60 and 70. Sir, the question is, who will file by paying such heavy penalty? Listen, normal people won't. But if you want bank loan and you don't have 3-year income tax record, if you want to travel foreign country and you don't have records for visa purposes, under an exceptional compulsion situation, you might have to do this. Understood? So what a game auntie has played. So like all the memes that were made by middle class people on her. And this budget was slightly taxpayer friendly only because she had more pressures of memers than taxpayers. She was under immense pressure from social media people who make memes on her. This budget will be the end of middle class. I showed you that hand gesture. Ladies and gentlemen, while she has only by slab rates, made everyone mad. What she is doing at other places, big question arises, sir. There has been substantial relaxation in income tax. So where will she recover? Because there is no corresponding change in GST. You don't understand. People will be saving 2,32,000 annually, and they will be buying luxury items. They will be buying mobile phones. They will be buying ACs. They will be buying motor cars that they don't require. And consumption ka tax also goes in a crazy manner to the government, because luxury goods ka most of them ka GST is 28%. You will buy alcohol, you will buy petrol. Government is getting money from all those sources. They are going to recover consumption-based taxes from you by granting you relaxation in your direct taxes. And here, she is not granting also. She just relaxed the few slabs. Of course, all this discussion of the current budget irrelevant for you guys, but are you clear about the concept of updated return? And whatever tax and interest you are getting here, this tax and interest, can you see this? Extra tax, and I'm saying interest, my bad, sorry, tax and penalty. Penalty ka name given is additional income tax. All this you will have to pay under section 140B. See, normal self-assessment tax ka section is 140A, but this is tax on updated ROI. This has to be paid under 140B. Clear hai? All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is your chapter called return filing. Only questions are left, the questions that way are not going to take too much of time in any case. But with this advanced tax interest and TDS TCS, your last two chapters and last three lectures. Tomorrow you don't have my lecture because tomorrow for the offline class full day IDT lecture is kept, and therefore our online students and of course direct tax collection Wednesday 12 to Wednesday I can take extra, no problem. Wednesday 12 to 4:30, Thursday 12 to 4. For now, these are your next two lectures, and we will get almost done. And then last lecture we will complete your syllabus. So right now we will meet day after tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Fair, perfect, fantastic.